Sorry, I was very distracted for a minute by a conversation. Hi. Hey. Hi. Hey, it's mommy day today. Hi. How are you? How we doing? Today's a mommy day, apparently. Hi. Thank you.
Shriveling Fire.
Hi,
for the
Will.
34 months of support.
Hi, Will.
Trace even with that cryptic message.
Thank you. I love how this model does not center well. That's great. Love that. Hi. How we doing? How is everybody today? Of days? Today is a book club. Don't forgive me, Mother, for I have sinned and continue to do so. Good. That way, at least, you get to spend more time in the confession booth. Yeah, it's one of those days. It's one of those damn days. Hey, so it's book club day today. Finally, because I wanted to give my hand a fucking rest. Hi. How we doing? I am legitimately curious how many of you did actually read the book today with me. So, I know of at least 2 people that did. I know of at least 2 people that did, which is kind of nice. And those 2 people are right here.
Wow.
Ah.
Wow.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, people that actually read the book.
I literally finished the audiobook right before stream started. I was like,
I was not able to finish it again. It's okay. I got to them finding the things with Muldoon at the very end.
Good.
So we're
Gotcha.
basically done.
yay.
Anyway.
Wow, spoilers.
Wow, spoilers. Hi. This is Anna and this is Will. And I need to add my friend's scene to this.
Yeah. Gain. Internet, please.
How
Wow.
how
I'm
are
the
my
friend.
friends doing? I'm curious.
I'm
I
good.
I am so full of opinions.
Yeah.
I have so many opinions. I don't know what those opinions are 100%
Uh-huh.
yet, but I'm excited to do book club so that I can figure out what my opinions are.
That's fair, honestly. I'm
I
having
am
to
happy about one character's ending. Because I did not like that character.
It's okay. We all know. I was also happy when Lex got eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think most of us hate Lex.
Yeah.
Okay, least favorite character is Lex. Least favorite character is Lex. Anyone
Least
else?
anyone else? Least favorite character? Lex. Yeah, done. No objections. Yep, done.
Done, yeah. The
Okay.
one child that didn't do anything.
Pretty much.
They kind of have trauma.
No, that's not true. She was a great way in the book to make me angry.
Ooh, okay, that's fair.
What is the point of art if it doesn't make you feel blinding rage?
I'm gonna work on the wordle while we're all yapping. Don't mind me.
Maybe
course, of course. You need
perhaps
something to do
stream
with your
the
hands.
Discord so we can have the music.
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you can also have Matthew.
I like that. I like that where I am in the scene in your stream. It looks like I'm pop. I feel like a stalking dinosaur. I'm just
You're
like,
good.
Sneak it up.
It's a good choice.
Blah.
Let's just have you over here, and then you can watch me talk to Cab on the side.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about having you in my lap, but then that kind of got weird, and I was just like, you know what, that's fine.
It's just me.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
In this form,
That
I
could
am
be-
small and fuzzy. I'm like destined to be in somebody's lap.
I could just be ignoring any implications of that. If Chathy was the devil on his shoulder, I could just be the angel. Or is that cultural appropriation for you because of?
No, it's not cultural. Holy shit! Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I can't find the tweet, but at one point it was, I'm just like normal girls. I take my Adderall with Red Bull every morning.
Well, you
I-
wanted that on a shirt. That's what it
I
was.
also want that on a shirt, yeah.
I don't know why the first thing that popped into my head was like, hey, I'm just like any other girl. I take my estrogen 1 injection at a time.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm apparently like blowing past Wordle today. Damn.
It took me 4.
Okay, so is it just okay, it's not. What the hell? What?
Oh, you use X as your you don't know letter. I always
yes,
use
I
it.
do. Because I mean, X doesn't show up all that much. Also, hold on, let me give you guys stream chat too. There you go.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I can see chat too because I'm also watching the screen because I like watching your model. Because
That's fair. Yes, and also thighs. I know. It's okay.
Yes.
No, it's okay. The thighs are off screen.
So I used to have this screen set up with like a deer plushie and a desk. I found the mic. I couldn't find the desk or the plushie, and it makes me really sad.
Oh, I'm sure it's hiding somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
I do like the Vine Forest mic.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a really cool mic.
Thank you. It was one of the few. Okay. Well. God damn it. Apparently, Cab went ahead and posted the thing. Fantastic, lovely.
Hang on, let me go.
There you go, chat. Hey, chat. I drew the thing yesterday about this, and here we are now.
Let me
go get your bucket and shit in it like everyone else does.
Yes.
What the fuck happened?
So I was talking with Cab about something in his stream, and then it evolved into talking about life shitting in your bucket.
It's on the banner and everything.
And then he made a deal with chat about making it his Twitter banner. Oh, anyway, back to this.
So fucking good.
Shit.
The ominous light that's just shining slightly above the shit bucket.
No, fix it. Facet. What is the end letter if it's not D or S? T? Fillet? Fillet.
There you go.
Okay, I was like, I usually try to, what's the word I'm looking for? I usually try to, Sudoku everything. Also, hey, ad. What's up?
Hello, ads.
Hello, ads.
Hello, ads. My third guess was bidet.
You know what? That's fair.
I would have laughed so hard if that was the case.
It should have been. It really should have been.
It should have. It missed anything. Good luck.
I feel like
okay.
Hi, Saranya.
Hi, Saranya.
Yeah, now would be a good time to mention that I didn't actually read the book.
Oh, okay. Well, what did you do?
I read the first 5 pages and then just like felt the radiation coming off of the rest of it. It was just like, nah, I'm good. But unfortunately, it just like attached to my face like a face hugger.
Let me guess, you did the Cliff Notes version?
No, I just read the book. I
was yes-anding. You're fine. You're fine, Will.
No, it's okay. I realized that I was standing at this cliff and didn't have a parachute. It was just like, I'm good.
Maybe, you know what?
Okay, slip, tiptoe, creep.
I can bury this bit.
I read the first 2 chapters and then I realized, oh, I can't do anything else that I'm supposed to be doing if I'm continuing to reading. I'm just gonna have the audiobook going.
Yeah,
was probably the smartest idea ever.
I basically bought furniture to read this book because I have a little shitty balcony on my apartment. Well, shitty, it's actually kind of nice, but my apartment has like a little balcony. And when I moved into my apartment X number of years ago, my mom was like, you should really get some chairs for your balcony.
Yeah.
And finally, this book is the reason I went to IKEA and bought some chairs so I would have a nice reading spot.
Let's fucking go.
Listen.
And you know, it was lovely.
It's cute. It's really cute, actually.
The man's got furniture, thanks to Jurassic Park and thanks to DeerBits for hosting the book club.
Yep, you're welcome for me making you use your the reading nook. Will, it was me. It was all me.
That's chill. I need you to Venmo me 1 cent for being on the stream so I can use the chairs as a tax write-off.
You say that, but I literally could.
Yeah, I'm sure that what I need right now is... I don't know where to go with this. I don't. Do the IRS have hit squads? Will the IRS send dinosaurs after me?
No,
it's been 40 years since Jurassic Park. They could have trained the Velociraptors by now.
They really could have. They really could have.
I hate time. I realize it literally has been 40 years.
Thanks,
Oh, God.
Paladino.
I hate
Oh, I
that.
hate
Months of
that.
support. This message adds a touch of mystery.
I hate that. Also, this one did not go to the right screen, so we're just gonna set up. Oh no, it did, but like it fucked up. Got it. I have to fix that. On it. Let me fix that on the side. Hey.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
I may not even do connections because I cannot, for the life of me, figure this out. If I'm honest.
No, I got one I got one of the connections. I did not get anything else, and the purple category as normal is shit.
It's Saturday. This is the day that the New York Times decides. You know what? Fuck them.
You know what? You know what? Who made the connections? By Wina Liu. Fuck you, Wina. Fuck you, in
Canonically-
particular.
Canonically, don't they make Saturdays harder?
I have no idea.
Isn't Saturday supposed to be the hard day, like with the crossword? Is what I know that from, or is it Sunday that's the
I think
hard
it's
one?
the Sunday because it's always the Sunday crossword. That's like the big one, right?
I don't know, man. My brain always hurts, so every day is a hard day.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know anymore. Speculation Enterprise National Environ? I don't fucking know. D-Slag, just pick some. Just pick some. I don't care. I don't care. I can't. No. What the fuck is this?
I'm glad that we're
Hearsay.
going to go into book club dazed and confused.
Good movie. Fun fact. I like that movie a lot.
So I want you to know Saranya is going to try to speed run the book like right now.
Just do the Cliff Notes version. It's fine.
Is it? Because
Yes.
I looked up for my benefit. I decided to look up like a timeline of everything that happened in the book.
Can I have it?
So like, sure. It's not very good.
It's
I
fine.
quite like it because let me just read a random section of it. Next morning, raptors get loose. Little later, Grant guides the children back to the visitor center. Short while later, Tim saves his sister from a raptor. And that's a great lead into my sort of like thesis with this book, which is like the last third of this book, I will just admit, kind of lost me.
That is fair.
It was fine. I really liked the first
Everything
two-thirds
was
of this book.
fine. It was fine. I'm fine.
I really liked the first 2/3 of this book. The last like third of it, especially after Grant and the kids get back to the visitor center, was the weakest part for me.
I get
it
that.
did feel like it drawed on a little bit long at the end, very then there, except like one or two parts. It
That's
felt like it
fair.
kind of dragged on a little bit.
And then Hammond died, and that was cool.
Yeah, that's why I like the most.
Yeah, that's fair.
When that happened, I was like, finally,
Finally, the
Fuck
evil
this
has
bitch.
been cleansed.
fuck this asshole. Jesus Christ. And what's great is I have the movie fresh in my brain too, because we watched it just a couple of days ago. So I have the comparison there.
Yeah, you
I go,
do.
holy crap.
I don't
Yeah.
remember a lot about the movie, I admit, because I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember thinking Hammond was like genuinely kind of a nice dude in that. He was just a little bit
Yeah.
like
So
Just
basically,
misled.
so basically, take any of the good qualities that the lawyer had in the book and give them to Hammond to make him somewhat more likable. and cast Hammond as slightly a more, no, I'm more of the environmentalist. I'm more of the I want to do this for the children. I'm a nice grandpa.
Oh yes, clearly
No.
for the children.
Yeah, for the it's always for the children.
It's always for the children.
Yeah, but just basically Spielberg's wanted to make Hammond appear more like nice grandpa.
Very much.
Walt Disney.
I don't blame them for the change because this is a.
Oh yeah, no,
I don't know what to say about what the like core message of this book is yet because I want to point at it and be like,
analyze it and then think about it.
Well, yeah, but I want to point at it and be like, this is very much an anti-capitalist book, and it kind of is.
It is.
The movie, to my memory, more heavily leans into that.
I would say it's kind of like an anti-capitalist, but also don't play God kind of scenario.
Go on.
You fuck around, you find out.
Yeah, you know what kind of lost me and is one of those things I'll have to sit on a little bit.
What?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I am going to be bad with proper nouns this entire time. The mathematician character,
Malcolm.
Malcolm,
yeah.
thank you.
Mr. Theory.
God, he does a hell of a lot of preaching.
Yes, he
in
does.
Like the back half of this book.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
It's a lot of I told you so, basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny to me. We might be skipping ahead a little bit here, dear, because you had specific icebreakers that you want to do.
But like, just talk, and then let me know when you're done.
Okay, skipping ahead, I'm still struggling to process essentially how much I agree with Malcolm in his like preaching about trying to control the natural world.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, the idea that the Earth will outlive us and be fine is all stuff that like makes sense to me. But Malcolm doesn't really seem to care that much, or he isn't given room at least to care that much about like people. So him being like pro-humanitarian doesn't really work for me. It might just be that he's not given a lot of room because for like the whole second half of the book he's on drugs out of his mind, so he's not really out of
Yeah, he's very much on drugs out of his mind for the second half.
Shit ton of morphine, dying slowly of subsesses and basically rotting.
But like I almost want to twist, I almost want to like look into Malcolm's words a little bit and be like, the whole point of what Malcolm wants is that humanity is like, we have to save the planet, and Malcolm is like, oh no. Saving the planet just means like we need to stay alive. We need to make sure that we don't kill ourselves doing stupid shit.
Yes.
Which is to me like a, not a very dumb thing to say, but he's so callous. It's hard for me to know if I'm reading into his words and trying to find what I want to find.
That's fair.
Or if that is like what he's supposed to be saying.
So in my kind of point of view, when I was looking at Malcolm and reading into it and stuff like that, you basically take almost not really I wouldn't categorize him as a creationist.
No, he's not.
No, he's definitely not. But I would just take him sort of like, he's very much a natural order kind of person. And coming to the island, being hired by Hammond, was pretty much the antithesis of the natural order. And by the time he was just so hooked up full of drugs and everything, that entire backlog of everything in his brain was just, guardrails gone and kind of rambling sort of thing. So I wouldn't necessarily say he's callous. I think he's just fed the fuck up.
He's also very rock star, I will say. He's got that personality where like, oh, I'm popular and I have the Malcolm theory and I have all these things. Look at me. I'm right. Even if his theories are like flawed, he taunts them like they're like non-questionable. So
it is.
That's fair.
It is kind of funny that you say that because
science fair pick me.
Malcolm, I don't know how to phrase it. Malcolm. God, Malcolm is my favorite character to think about, and also my least favorite character.
He's a character that makes you think, which is not always a bad thing. So you can like him and dislike him at the same time because he riles up emotions.
Yeah, he makes me think in the same way as like he's not really. I don't think he's right. The situation just happens to escalate to the point where, like, okay, I don't agree. The book makes Malcolm right. I don't think that he is like all that.
He's
No,
not
I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
He's not 100% correct, but he's not 100% wrong. He was correct maybe in this sort of situation.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I had to laugh a little bit when late in the book Hammond is like, oh my god, I can't let Malcolm die. He'd be so smug about it, and I'd be like, yeah, hang on. That's kind of how I feel about Malcolm right now
He
too.
probably would be. Oh. Dear, I don't know if I can't hear you if you're talking.
My bad. Yes, no, he absolutely was going to be smug if he was gone. Sorry, I did hit mute for 2 seconds.
That is quite all right.
Okay.
I saw the mouth flaps and I didn't hear the voice.
So we're just gonna half book club this like in a structure, and then the other half. This might be a short stream. I don't care. I just wanted time to yap and not use my hands. So I'm gonna like just have us talk about whatever the fuck we want in our opinions, and I'm also half going to have structure to this a little bit.
Scroll to those questions that you had.
So I just want to start with like favorite scenes basically of the book, and I'm curious as to what y'all's are.
I have two, and both of them are kind of fucked up.
Yeah, go on.
The baby's face getting eaten, and then Hammond getting eaten, which leads into the second question: your favorite dinosaur were the compies.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm sorry. Repeat that. What were your two favorite scenes?
The very beginning of the book, when the nurse, the nanny finds the baby with
the newborn
compies.
baby, and the compies are on the basket and eating its face.
Yeah, that. I don't know why I find that funny. Not funny at like it's like it's a dark humor kind of thing. And then the second one was when Hammond also eaten by the compies. Because fuck Hammond, and that entire monologue that he had right before he started to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I just wanted to reach through and just shake the fuck out of him.
Yeah, so okay, so they put the funny dino DNA and the funny frog DNA, but it turns out the funny frog can be trans, and then there were funny male dinos, and now the dinos can fuck, and the island is overrun with dinos forever, and this is why billionaires shouldn't fuck around, because then we're y'all gonna find out. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep, pretty much.
And then Malcolm predicted all of this.
Supposedly. He went to UT, of course he did.
Malcolm said, you prepared for trans rights, did you prepare for trans wrongs?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so Will, favorite scene? I'm curious.
Okay. I think if I had to pick a favorite scene, it would probably be the T-Rex attack on the cars. I really enjoyed that reading through that because I knew already sort of by what had been established that it was like similar to the movie that I vaguely remembered but hadn't watched in a while. But I also knew that the book was different because like characters were alive or dead that weren't supposed to be at this point.
Genders were swapped. Ages were swapped.
Were genders swapped?
Yeah, Lex and Tim in the movie, Lex is older, like the older sister, and she's very like hacker-y. So she's the hacker in the movie. Tim is the kid. Yes, Tim is the much younger kid who really likes dinosaurs still, but like he's much younger and annoying. Yeah, he's kind of autistic about dinosaurs basically. But then in the book, Lex is the younger one who has the thing that isn't about computers, and she likes she likes sports, right? And she's a daddy's girl and spoiled as fuck.
Lex's whole personality is that she literally doesn't do anything except complain and whine throughout the whole book.
and
Does she
scream.
Pretty much.
And scream.
And
She
have
does-
trauma and daddy issues and abandonment issues.
It's kind of incredible how Lex can ping pong so rapidly between whenever something's going wrong, she's crying and screaming.
Yeah.
And the second anything isn't immediately trying to kill her, she's like the whiniest.
Yeah, she's so
little
whiny.
shit. She's
God, I
the most
remember-
like, but nothing's actively trying to kill us right now. Where's my ice cream? Like 5 seconds after
Grant,
watching
I want
American
some
Taste
ice
Two
cream.
Off.
Dad, I want ice cream.
I remember at one part Muldoon was yelling at Lex to stop doing something. He's like, girl, stop. And she's like, don't call me girl. And Muldoon's like, she's not fucking listening. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, you have
I
to
do
remember.
another scene I liked.
Yeah, you have to remember that Lex and Tim come from Hammond's family. They're very well off.
Yeah.
And very spoiled and very
Yeah.
what's the word? Not problematic. They're
Silver spooned.
basically, yeah.
I
So
would be more okay with it if Lex wasn't literally a 9-year-old girl. We can't blame her for capitalism yet. Like she's
I
just.
can blame her for being. An
I can
annoying
blame
little
her
shit.
for a lot of
Should we-
things.
Should we talk about sexism in this book? Because I'll get back to my favorite scene. This book felt really sexist at times.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. To be fair, in the STEM community, that happens a lot.
Unfortunately.
So you could take it as two ways. Either A, Michael Crichton is sexist. I don't think he really is. I'd have to look that up. Or B, he basically wrote all of it because STEM is sexist as fuck, and that's what I would take away from it. But go on.
Okay, there's 3 moments in this book which I'm going to pull out to support like this book is kind of skeevy as hell.
Yes.
Ignoring the fact that there's only like 2 female characters and one of them is Lex, so that she doesn't really count because like whatever, fine.
She's 9.
Lex doesn't
Yeah.
count.
There's 3 moments that I need to point out here that make me just extremely uncomfortable. The first is like I'm going to point out specifically at the start of the book. Again, I'm sorry, I'm so bad at proper nouns. What are the 2 scientists' names? I should
Grant and Ellie. Ellie Sattler, yeah.
you. Like when the opening of the book, we meet Grant and Ellie for the first time. Like the EPA dude or whatever that comes to visit him is like staring at Ellie's legs, and Grant is having a laugh about it.
Yeah.
And like that to me contextualizes all the other. Ellie's legs come up a lot in this book.
They do.
It is the writer's barely disguised fetish. And like the fact that Grant is having a laugh about it kind of implies to me that we're also supposed to have a laugh about it whenever it comes up.
I don't know.
I do remember there was another comment like near the beginning of the book, like remember the assistant that never really had a name, the one female assistant that came in and saw the drawing that the one kid, what was her name, Tina?
Oh, I know what you're talking
Very
about.
beginning.
Yeah,
that
at the
got
very
attacked.
beginning, yeah.
Yeah. So in the very beginning of the book, there's this kid and this family that go onto the beach in the islands, and the kid, in short, gets attacked by a compy, draws a picture of it, and they take it to like the hospital and the scientists and all that stuff, and they're all looking at it like it's just a random lizard. It's a basilisk lizard and stuff like that. And then one female intern comes in and she's like, "Oh, nice dinosaur drawing."
Yeah.
And that's kind of what starts it.
That is my favorite scene, by the way, is literally like a random woman comes in that no one trusts because she doesn't have a degree, and she's like, "Oh, who drew the dinosaur?" And the guy's like, "It's not a dinosaur, it's a lizard." She's like, "No, my kids draw
the only one that
dinosaurs
knew what
all
was
the
happening."
time. That's a dinosaur."
I remember that part. There was a comment that the doctor made or something like that, and like posted. It's just like nobody ever listened to her because she always spouted like wild tales. Like this one dude that said she always thought was following her at work, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, not believing the
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that part sucked.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'll admit, I don't remember that scene very well, and I know that I was the one just making the sexism argument. But I literally just saw it was just some coworker walked in and was like, "Oh, it's a dinosaur," and the other people's reaction was like, "It can't be a fucking dinosaur." What? Like I didn't pick up on that, which is
Nah,
kind of funny considering I'm the one who brought this up.
Bitch.
Yeah, I did not.
That's a lizard.
Yeah, a lot of people have mentioned, like in reviews and things, about how whenever Ellie is mentioned, it's about her legs or something similar, and everyone is referred to in the entire book by their name except for Sattler, and it's kind of weird. And she literally could have just been replaced with like a cardboard cutout of a sexy woman, and it would have been the same.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In comparison to what she did in the movie, she had a lot more role and basically more into the movie than she probably did in the book. They gave her more stuff to do. They did the same thing with Lex. They did the same thing with those two characters. Other note, I remembered another scene that I actually really liked because it showed empathy for the dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's fair.
So in the lab, when Grant and the others are first meeting, like Dr. Wu, and they just hatched the baby raptor.
Yeah.
And Grant is like manhandling this little raptor, and Dr. Wu's like, put it the fuck down.
Yeah, it's a living animal. It's not a thing
It
to
is a
just
living
inspect,
creature.
because Grant is inspecting it like he would bones, basically.
Yeah, and they're not realizing that you could really hurt this animal and it could suddenly die because you're not handling it correctly. And
Yes.
Dr. Wu had to really firmly tell them, stop touching it, put it down.
At least stop touching it in the way you're doing.
Yeah, I really liked that, and I really liked Dr. Wu because it showed not only were they passionate about the whole project itself, they're also still passionate and acknowledged that it is a living creature. And it showed empathy, which my expectations and my bare minimum are like, are you empathetic? Do you have like emotions for living, breathing things? Okay, I like you a little bit.
Muldoon has that kind of, because he was a game warden in Africa, right?
Yes.
Hey, he's
Muldoon's
one of the
my second
only
other
black
favorite.
characters in this, but
That was not black in the movie.
yeah, it was not black in the movie.
No, not black in the
It's okay because we got Samuel L.
is he?
Jackson.
Yeah.
I thought he was specifically called like the White Hunter or something at some point.
Is he? I thought he was South African. Hi, Lime.
There's
It could be the case that with formal, South Africa does not always mean
Yeah,
black.
that's fair. That's fair. The book
I
I
liked Michael.
had audio wise gave him like a South African accent, so I was like,
I think it's just because of the bland, not necessarily the skin.
he's
Yeah.
definitely 100% from Africa. I thought at some point.
Nope, he
they
is a
called
white
him
hunter from Nairobi. That's what it is, and he's an alcoholic. Never
you go,
mind.
We were
Wu
wrong.
is the only person of color in this entire book.
Yep. Hi, Lime.
Hi, Lime. Thank you for the raid. How are you? How was your stream? Monster Hunter. Also, yes, I do own. No, I don't. I need to buy Monster Hunter and hack a save into it so that I'm at the same level as my Switch. That's where I need to be. But money is a whole thing. Anyway, yeah. So my Lime, honey.
Hi.
Hi.
It's not just casual chat, it's book club chat.
Yeah. Did you read
Have you read the book?
Did you read the book,
I
hon?
have not.
Okay, get out of here. I love you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
What a sweetie.
I love you, Lime. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, no, my favorite part literally was because it just echoes the entire book of someone with basically what is equated to less knowledge or less schooling. And then basically comes in and is like, hey, X is Y, and everyone's like, no, it's not. What the fuck? I'm sorry, you're on an 80 stream. Hold on. You're on an 80 Lime. You don't have to watch all my streams.
I think Lime lives here.
Holy shit, you live
They're your
here.
mod. I'm not surprised that
Yeah,
they're
but
one of your
they're-
mod.
I understand that, but they also don't have to be here for every stream. Oh my god.
Well, congratulations. They like your fucking company. Deal with it.
Jesus. All right, I guess I have to make a company then. Yeah, you live here. All right, in the basement you go.
Deer Corp.
Go away.
I can't believe it. Did you know that in the time that you watched 80 Deer streams, you could have read Jurassic
You
Park
could have.
like 5 times?
You could have. You really could have. Especially when there's only the like 2-hour ones.
There's 2-hour condensed versions?
Of my
We're
streams.
really talking about the
Of my stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For the context,
you meant
for the
book.
for the context for everybody, well, there is a 2-hour condensed version of the book. It's called the movie.
Yeah.
But I love the fucking pace for everyone. For everyone that came in for the live stream, we had a delightful time because we went from favorite scene to just
Ranting
sexism?
Already. Yeah, sexism.
to now
Maybe?
Muldoon.
I like Muldoon a lot.
I
to
really
be
do
fair.
like Muldoon a lot, yeah.
Because he's
He's
like,
a lot more likable in this book.
yes, he is.
He's likable in the movie too. He's the only one that has a brain cell that understands these are dangerous freaking things.
It's because he's the
Don't
game warden from
underestimate.
Nairobi, though, right? He actually understands like how animals hunt. He understands animal attacks, things like that. So it's kind of nice having him be there. But even with him, he's very much like, we can't do this because XYZ, and Hammond or whoever's like, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm smarter than you. And he's just like, uh-huh. There's also there's also a part where, fuck, I forget the character. One of the main people at the computers, not Gennaro, I think it was Arnold, was basically talking to Gennaro and was like, don't tell me that the system's not going to be back online. We're going to get it online. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Things instantly aren't fine. And Gennaro's just like, uh-huh. Because
I did think you.
Go on.
No, I remember it was Gennaro was yelling at Arnold to turn the systems off to restart it because the phone lines weren't working. And
so then there were 2 times this
Malcolm was
happened, but
not.
yes, go on.
Yeah. Oh. And then I think Arnold was, well, like if I turn it off, then everything kind of shuts off. And then they reset it. And then guess what? It didn't work. And then all the shit did not turn back on.
Yeah.
And,
Well, it's kind of funny because it reflects the rest of the book like that, doesn't it?
Yes.
Things seem like they work, but something wasn't considered, and then everything breaks.
Chaos
which
theory.
I think kind of ties. It kind of ties back into like, if it can be one theme of this book, like in terms of a lesson I would take away from it, is that you can't account for everything.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm not sure how much I like the implication that one thing you don't account for will always result in catastrophic failure that results in things going worse.
Dinosaurs can't get on the roof, so we're not going to plan for dinosaurs breaking in through the roof. Oh no, we planted a tree too close and the raptors are on the roof and they're getting in. Whoops.
That was the thing that kept popping up that I thought of the other day when I was listening. I was like, just, for the phrase, just in case, popping up so many times in this book.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that showed up that happened that did not happen.
Very much. It was just
Spotify
like,
pause in your
it's
thingy.
fine. It was very much just like, y'all prepared for everything, but like, you can't prepare for everything and stop acting like it, basically.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
You can't foolproof everything.
Okay, so, favorite character. I already mentioned, like, Muldoon is one of my favorites, so.
Mine is a tie between Muldoon and Dr. Wu.
That's fair. I like Dr. Wu. Oh, real quick. We're gonna act like movies 2 through 6 don't exist right away. We're just gonna act like the first movie and the book exists. That's it. Yes.
Why were there 6?
Lost World, and then the third one. Okay, and then they did Jurassic World with Chris Pratt, and there were 3 of those.
Right. I forgot that. I only watched the first 2 movies.
Yeah, it's okay. They're the only. I really like the third one, and for like dumb reasons, it's a like guilty pleasure that I like the third one. So yeah. Okay, so favorite character, Will. I'm handing you the talking stone. Here you go.
Thank you. Oh my god. Oh wow. Thank you. That's hard. I think if I had to pick the character I like to think the most about, it would probably be Malcolm. But if I had to pick my favorite character in the book, it might be Tim.
That's fair.
Tim is
okay.
He's
Tim
very
is a
autistic.
Tim is the only. Tim is probably my favorite character. I talked before about the T-Rex scene. Tim was my favorite character to follow in action scenes, which is
Yeah.
the last third of this book, which is
Yes.
the weakest part of this book.
Yeah.
But like Tim was a delight to follow in action scenes because he probably acts a little bit too smart for what his age is supposed to be.
Yes.
But like
He's autistic as hell.
but like his vulnerability as a kid is fun to follow throughout all of that. And a lot of other characters I really enjoyed listening to because they were fascinating to listen to. Like I really liked Grant through the first like half of this book, was like a very, very fun character to follow along.
I really
But I
like
don't-
Grant when he's like sitting there with the EPA agent and just talking with him. And
I
it's
don't
just
know how
like
much-
very casual and different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I mean, besides the casual beer sip and thinking about Sadler's legs, you know, all that. But like, yeah, I think Tim might be the character I root for the most.
I do like that he's willing to tell Lex to shut the fuck up.
That's
That's
He's
nice.
also a
The
kid,
one
so
part
his
in
fucking
the,
make a lot of sense.
the one part in the lake when
Yeah.
they're paddling away and the T-Rex is like sleeping,
Yeah.
and then
And she has to cough.
Lex
She
is
always
like-
coughs at the worst time.
and then Lex is screaming, "I didn't know dinosaurs can swim. I thought reptiles couldn't swim. What do you mean snakes can swim?" Oh my god.
Yeah. She's like, he's like, everybody knows dinosaurs can swim, you fucking idiot!
But yeah, back to like when you said that he was autistic coded, the moment I knew that he was autistic coded was the very first freaking moment where it's that flashback scene with him and his dad at the museum.
Yeah, with the
He's like,
spines.
there's not enough, there's too many vertebrae on here. That's not right. And the dad's like, shut the fuck up.
Well, yeah,
What do
because
you
his
mean?
dad's a dick.
Yeah, his dad's a dick. And he's like, what do you mean? Stop it. He's like, I just said it wasn't correct. I'm like, yes,
So,
the ism card.
I kind of want to bring up Tim's and Lex's parents because this ties into something else for me. There are so many things in this book and the next book that we haven't read yet that have been pulled towards the next 6 movies. Okay?
Okay.
The Pteranodon scene is in the 3rd movie. The fact that his parents are divorcing is in the first Jurassic World with the 2 boys that go to the park because their parents are divorcing. There's
What's the Pteranodon scene again?
the Pteranodon scene is when they go in the aviary or the
Okay.
pterodactyl scene or whatever.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
I will just interject that it is mentioned in the first movie very briefly that Tim and Lex's parents are getting divorced.
Yes.
They mention it one time.
Yes, but it's like more of a staple in the 3rd, like the 4th movie or whatever, right?
Okay, it's a reoccurring sort of thing.
Yes, it is literally the main character's whole thing.
Does
'cause-
Michael's parents, are they connected? Mr. Crichton, are your parents divorced?
But sir, are your parents okay? And then fuck, what is the other thing? Shit. There's like how the velociraptors are breeding the eggs and they find them and take one and they find the nests and kind of like interact with the raptors before the raptors run away is in the 2nd movie, like towards the end when they hand the egg back. And the 2nd movie has someone named Sarah Harding, which is Malcolm's like
His girlfriend.
his girlfriend basically.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's a Dr. Harding who is the vet in this movie that they took the name from. And I'm just like, huh. There's so many little things that they like plucked out of the movie and put into
like puzzle pieced it.
it's a
I
whole
forget
thing.
that Dr. Harding is a character.
Yeah, he doesn't come up
Yeah.
much.
I blinked on that really quick. I like glazed over it.
It's fine, it happens.
It's kind of funny because I got so confused again over the last third of this book because Harding kept doing stuff and I kept struggling to remember every single time he would pop up again. I'd be like, who the fuck? Who is this man? He just didn't. Was his only. Does Harding. Do we only meet Harding during the sick stegosaur section?
I
Like
think-
before the T Rex shows up?
Um,
Harding.
Because in the
Drives
movie,
with
it
Sadler
was
back?
Ellie that was taking care of the Stegosaurus. No, there was one other old guy.
There was also the scene where she and Ellie are driving around, and they try to follow the compies for a bit because they're going after Nedry, but they don't know that yet.
Right. Oh my god, fucking Nedry.
Fucking Nedry. There's a couple other times that Harding comes up. He's not frequent, I will say. He's not very frequent at all.
He's a minor character.
Yeah.
I will look up more Harding stuff if y'all want to just vamp for a second.
I mean,
Look
if
at
you want
that.
transition, we could use the fact that Harding isn't there that much to talk about how fucking violent this book is.
Oh my
Go ahead.
God, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. So when I was starting to read this, I was like, "Hey, dear, I'm actually reading this." Oh, I just got to the part where the baby's face was ripped off. Whoa.
It does not hold back.
No.
This book, we sort of mentioned it earlier. This book is like 10 times more violent and depressing than the movie is,
Yes.
which was not a tone I was like really ready for. There are multiple parts in this book where they like graphically describe someone's intestines being ripped out. More like in the movie, there's like a couple named characters die. The lawyer dies early. I remember. I don't remember that much else. Please
The
excuse
lawyer
me.
dies in a comedic fashion.
Yeah, he does.
Most of them die in a comedic fashion.
Yep.
In the book,
In a very deserved comedic fashion, to be fair.
80% of the cast dies.
Yes.
Like Malcolm dead, Hammond dead. I'm looking at the full character list. I could go down it right now if you want
Go
me
ahead.
to. May I?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So Grant and Sattler survive, so that's 2 for living. Malcolm dead, Hammond dead, Muldoon. Does Muldoon die? Muldoon
No.
lives, right?
I
He
believe
li- that's
Muldoon
the-
lives.
That was the main difference between that and the movie, because in the movie he died.
Muldoon and
lived.
Gennaro live.
Yeah, Gennaro
Wu
lived.
dies. The kids live. Arnold dies. Nedry dies. Harding dies. Who's Lewis Dodgson?
Dodgson. I got Dodgson here.
He's
that
listed as the main antagonist of both of the Jurassic Park novels. Who's Dodgson?
Dodgson is the guy who made the rabies vaccine that he just put on other people, and he hires Nedry.
Okay, so he's an extremely
Oh.
minor character in this book.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Beside that, who else dies?
I wanted to be like way more people die in this than in the movie, but I think actually Anna said the right thing here of like in the movie their deaths are like minor comedic bits. Almost.
They are
Well,
almost
just, like,
comedic.
Yeah,
But, like-
because Muldoon died literally on the fucking toilet.
Yes. Oh,
Muldoon-
man.
Wait, Gennaro died on the toilet. Muldoon dies.
Gennaro died. Sorry, yeah, Clever Girl. Sorry, got the names mixed up.
No, you're
Muldoon,
good.
Clever Girl, Gennaro on the toilet after
Yes.
literally running away. That's why I was like surprised when he first popped up, and I was like, oh, hey, he didn't actually die. Oh, look at
Yeah.
that.
Gennaro dies still very pathetically, though. I believe it's the baby T-Rex, or no?
Oh, it's I forgot that Gennaro died.
Yes, he
Gennaro
does.
died going to turn the
Or
power back
no,
on by
he escapes. Sorry, no, he does escape.
lives. He has a fake out death scene. You think he's dead in the book, but then he turns out he's fine.
Here, I'll just give you the deceased characters, basically. There's a lot.
There you go.
There's a lot.
Perfect.
These are both the movies and the books, but like, there's a lot.
Well, yeah. And going back to like what you said before about how violent the book is compared to the movie, and you mentioned the whole intestine thing. Yeah, when I was reading about Nedry, when
Ooh.
he was blinded, and then it described in detail after
Oh,
the
yeah.
white plane, and then him realizing he's holding his own intestines.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yeah, no, I want to repeat that. I want to make sure people in chat who heard that correctly. This book features like a 2-page scene where a man is blinded and then describes his blind self realizing that his intestines just got ripped out.
yeah, and he's holding them in his hands.
To be fair, deserved. And I feel
okay,
like it
awesome.
plays into the trope that he's like the fat nerd, basically. That like he's holding his own guts, which is like, that's kind of an interesting
He's
thing.
the fat bastard.
Who couldn't see past his own greed. Haha, he gets blinded and gutted.
Okay,
So-
that's kind of
That is cool.
That's kind of funny. There is one extremely minor detail that if I don't mention, I
Go
will
on.
always feel bad about.
Go on.
Go.
After they realized that Nedry stole the embryos, someone asks, I believe Wu, they asked like how much of those embryos worth, and he's like, oh, easily in the ballpark of like $2 to $8 million.
Yeah.
And when Nedry is escaping, he's like thinking to himself, and he's like, these babies are gonna make me $1.5 million.
Yeah, he's
And it's just-
basically Yeah, he was.
He does not understand the value of what's in his hands, and I thought that was an incredibly neat little detail.
Yeah. It was a whole thing. I know Dodgson comes back in the later movies. He's like the main antagonist of like the third movie. It's kind of boring.
This is like the main antagonist of the first and second books
I
on
remember
Wikipedia,
now.
which
I
is
remember
just
now.
wrong.
He's like one of the spokes guys of like of InGen.
Yes.
I remember now.
No, actually, no. InGen is Hammond. He is the other company that is trying to compete with Hammond.
Oh,
He's the one that makes the rabies vaccine, but doesn't get tried for it when he gives a whole fucking group of farmers rabies because he's in a different country.
Oh, I didn't realize that was him specifically.
Yes,
Yay,
that is Dodgson.
pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Okay. For anyone who didn't read the book and is here, apologies, because this book is a delightful read. Even though I like said like, oh, I didn't really like the last third of it, I still thought the last third of it was like fine.
It's still a good book and honestly worth the read at least once.
Yes. But for everyone's benefit, just to catch y'all up on context here, in the movie, Dodgson like hires Nedry on like that beach scene or whatever. I don't think he's in it really past it.
No,
in
not
the book,
really.
He also doesn't really feature that much as a character. He's just much more sinister because there's a whole boardroom scene where they show the moment where like it's like, hey, should we do some corporate espionage and steal some
basically.
shit? Like,
They say the quiet part out loud.
Actually, that's kind of funny because there's a tape recorder in the room, so they literally avoid saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah. So the biggest thing in this book is the first like chapter talks about basically what is genetics and like the advancement of science, okay? And we're gonna have a very different view of it compared to when this was released, because this was like the 90s and 80s, okay? When this was first becoming a thing. And now we are 20 years in the future, and oh my god. So in the book, they very much talk about how genetic science is now suddenly all these scientists are in it for the money. All these people who were originally like, oh, I'm discovering things regardless of how much I'm making or whatever. And he basically talks about like the corruption of scientists and biologists and geneticists.
Yeah.
I don't want to label this book as anti-science because that has a lot more weight
It's
than...
not. It's
not
anti-capitalist in the sense of science.
It's using the progression of science for monetary gain, not for good ethics.
Yes.
Well, I actually think, okay, this is where we get into Malcolm's... We're jumping around a lot here.
You're good. That's the whole idea.
I do really want to talk about like the first couple chapters of this book because they were They were probably my favorite part. I can't call it my favorite scene, but I love the opening of this book.
Yeah.
This is why Malcolm's whole like diatribes kind of threw me for a loop. Is because we got to remember that this book is still the thing where like they were so busy figuring out whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Yes.
That line, paraphrased basically, is still in this book.
That hit hard.
Yeah, especially... So I was talking to Anna about this, and I didn't want to bring it up until today to really talk about it. The fucking parallels to AI generation in this made my skin crawl. Oh my god. I don't know about you so much, Will, because I know, like, me and Anna are artists. I know it might not... I'm not saying you don't care about, like, AI generation with art, but I'm saying it might hit different for me and Anna, comparatively. Yeah. So I don't know how you felt about it, because that hit so hard for me. I was just like, hate this. Hate this.
Because That's the good thing about these kind of books, and that's why they stay around as long as because the topics that they talk about transcend time.
Mm-hmm. They 100% do.
It matters 40 years ago, and it still matters today.
Mm-hmm. I think Crichton's very good with that, to be fair. I think there's something to be said. Well, I mean, history is going to repeat itself, too. Humans do the same thing over and over! Thank you. Hi, thank you.
Making sure you're still
yeah. So, like, it's one of those things where
back from work.
They didn't dissect the dinosaur because they didn't think it was going to be worth it, right? They were waiting for that one guy to come back, but then they were like, okay, well, why don't we go to the beach of this random Costa Rica whatever and let the kid run off? And while we fuck over here, oh no, our kid got bitten by a dinosaur and is dying.
Okay, hang on. We have to back up seriously here.
Go on.
Because this scene that you're describing is part of the opening of the book.
Yes.
It's just some parents who I forget. I think there's like implied marital troubles or something there.
Yeah, they're on the verge of divorce too.
Yes, everybody is.
They're on the rocks or something.
Marriages aren't allowed to happen in Jurassic
no,
Park.
They're not.
But to be fair, that scene specifically is just like a 5-year-old letting out on a beach, and then they didn't know there were dinosaurs there.
Yeah,
that's not on them that their kid got
no,
bit
it's
by a
not.
dinosaur.
But also, if you're in a random fucking country, don't just let your children run around like out in the wild, especially somewhere that's like rainforesty.
To be fair, this was literally a beach, and the kid did not leave the beach. Like, they were still in sight of the parents when they got attacked.
They were not.
They were not in sight.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, is that her mom is screaming to come back, and she's like, I'm gonna pretend I'm not listening.
Yeah. And then the dad is just like, just let her have fun. Let her go out and do her thing. And
I'll fuck you over here.
I just wanted to see her.
Yeah.
They were not fucking, man. He was entirely thinking that she was like, she is having self-esteem issues with her appearance. Yeah, he's thinking that she is too thin and is like, it was not good.
No,
that
it was
marriage
not.
is definitely not happening.
No, it's not. Yeah, okay. Let's, I guess, start from the beginning then, because we're jumping all over the place. Let me go grab the timeline, because that'll be the easiest way to do this.
Yeah, she is no site, I checked.
So the book starts with the talking about science basically becoming capitalized, right?
Right.
And they talk about Dodgson, who made rabies and like went to Costa Rica because there were less, not violations, there were less things that would get him in trouble there.
Left FDA.
Yes, there's no FDA stuff, and even the FDA stuff that is there does not really do much for like scientific discovery. It's basically the Wild West of science at this point, which it was, to be fair. And that's kind of what happened when CRISPR became a thing. There were no regulations on it, and people were just getting CRISPR. Like, you could just order a CRISPR kit and do shit with your DNA. Someone I literally know, I watched him cure his lactose intolerance by fucking with his DNA, right? Like, this was the thing on YouTube. Yeah, no, I've watched this happen. It was a whole thing.
Shit.
Yeah. I wish that were me. Damn.
Me too. I'm thinking that's what I'm like.
But there's no regulation to it is the thing, right?
Yeah.
There's no, like, if something happens, okay, well, now it's your fault. Sorry, I'm just lifting up my mic a little bit. Ha ha. VTuber bit. There's no like regulations to it. There's no, oh, if someone gets hurt, who's like in charge of this, right? And then we move on from there, and it's a woman in a clinic who's there, who thought she was going to be having a good time because it's Costa Rica, and the fucking helicopter comes in with someone who gets injured at a theme park, basically, that's being built. Yeah. And she's looking over it, and it's like, oh no, this was an animal attack, basically, and the guy dies.
Legitimately got mauled.
And we go back to the fact that she was in cutoff shorts again, and everyone's like, oh, you're not, like, good enough, sort of thing, to be a doctor, and she's like, shut the fuck up, and like still doing what she's doing.
Chat, this is the lesson. If you wear cutoff shorts and you're a female, you are not in the medical field.
That's fair. Hi, Copper. Hi. To be fair, I think that's what he tried to do with Harding too. I don't think it's inherent sexism. I think it is very much like all of the women and people without like the big PhDs, like even Grant gets this a good amount because he's just a paleontologist. He doesn't have, you know, a microbiologist PhD. He just works with bones or whatever the fuck, right?
So it could be classism versus...
It's less sexism and more classism, but it comes out more with the women because we're like, oh, stop looking at her fucking legs. You're obsessing over her legs.
Yeah. Miyazaki from Elden Ring likes the feats.
Yeah, so does Del Toro. So I mean, you know, yeah. Listen, don't. Anyway, hi Copper. We're talking about Jurassic Park because I wanted my friends to read my favorite book, and they said yes, they would.
Yeah.
So hi. We're gonna be talking about dinosaurs. I'm gonna have to get a ginger ale here in a second because I made coffee that was too strong and my stomach's like, ugh. So we have a child getting bitten in Costa Rica that we were talking about, right? And what it basically boils down to is this little girl, once again the classism thing, who is apparently hyper observant of everything, and the parents are
big into animals.
Yes, and the parents are even like, no, she's really observant. We trust everything she fucking says. Like, and then the guy comes up and he's like, hey, what'd the lizard look like? Yeah, I doubt that. It was probably a basilisk sort of thing. And then someone asks the kid when she's leaving the hospital the next day, hey, Tina, you remember how many toes it had? And she's like, yeah, I do. It had 3. And he's like, huh, that's
like,
weird.
How do you know?
I looked. No, she looked. It was just like, I looked at it. I remembered that. It's like,
Just picture any young kid that discovered Animal Planet and Crocodile Hunter, aka me in middle school, and how observant you are to animals.
Anything Animal Planet, honestly, even the like weird Animal Versus thing they did where they built full steel animal things.
I watch Animal Planet, and I could identify a king snake and a coral snake. I still remember a black mambo. I remember so much random useless shit. But that was basically Tina. She was the Animal Planet kid. Got hyper fixated on all kinds of animals. She was literally like, "Are we gonna see a sloth? Is this this kind of monkey? No, that's a howler monkey. That kind of thing."
Yeah, she literally can correct her parents about things, and it's just like, oh, all right.
This is like your expert witness on animals.
This is basically me, if I'm honest, because you think I have hyperfixations about Nier? Don't even get me fucking started on animals. You have no fucking idea. You have no idea. Hold on. You have no idea how fucking obsessed with animals I am. How insane I am about animals. You have no fucking idea, chat.
I'm going to watch more Animal Planet with you.
You literally have deer horns on.
Yes, and I also want to become a zoologist, but college is too expensive.
That's fair. I also wanted to be a zoologist as a kid.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I've talked about
non-animal or nature-themed thing in this stream is my stupid fucking face.
Yes, it is.
What do you mean we don't know?
I mean, animal facts were also a thing. Also, holy shit, getting hit in the head on this model sucks. I should really fix this model. I mean, it's one of those things where my mom very much raised me to be an artist because that's what she knew how to support. But I had this obsession with animals too, and we never really knew what I wanted to do in my life until I almost died, was in the hospital, and was watching Animal Planet again. I was like, I like animals, well, very drugged up, and then it came to the realization of, oh, I don't want to be an artist. I want to work with animals. I'm gonna go get a ginger ale real quick. Feel free to talk about the kid that got hit.
Go get a ginger ale. I'm not even kidding. I used to watch so much fucking Crocodile Hunter when I was a kid.
God bless.
I wanted to go to the zoo so bad.
I lived close enough to a really nice zoo, so I got to experience animals pretty well. But I wanna while Deer's gone, I want to talk about my favorite thing about this book, which I about these first couple chapters, which I picked up on but didn't really process until I finished. Which was these first couple chapters are a lot of little things that go wrong for Gen Tech. The type of thing where it's just like coincidental, minor, tiny things going wrong. Besides the dinosaurs
we didn't plan for this, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of. Like, there are a lot of times during these opening couple chapters where, like, it feels like they should have gone away with it, basically. But just one more step was taken and one more coincidence happened. They dodged, like, the girl gets bit. Some dude, I forget what exactly his professional thing is, but he goes out to the beach and
he's sitting there waiting for them, and he can't find one. Yeah.
Where is it that they find the compy sample?
So he finds one because a howler monkey. Yeah. He sees a howler monkey, which she wanted to see, which is kind of like, He's eating it because he notices the howler walking weirdly because he's used to when. Okay, let me back up. So howler monkeys, when you walk under them, will tend to piss on things for territory reasons. Okay, that's why. So it becomes this thing where he's like, I should avoid that. Wait, that monkey's walking weird. After sitting there like all day with a tranq gun, hoping to find a compy, right?
Yes.
And he finds one half-eaten by a howler monkey that he scares off, and then he has the sample. That's how he gets it.
And he sends it off to the lab to test. And
it was
all that
another
stuff.
just so happened to work out, basically.
But then the lab didn't remind me because I might be a little fuzzy on that. The lab basically tested it for XYZ, but didn't exit for like one other thing that it should have tested. And then they were like, inconclusive. We didn't find what you asked us to look for.
I really like
other thing. Nah, we're just gonna throw it in the trash.
Go on, Will.
I really like that these opening chapters do two things essentially. The first is like set up the theme of to give the fictional man some credit, the fictional man that I hate some credit. It does set up the Malcolm effect of like a bunch of little coincidences leading into something going on. But what I also really enjoy about it was it gave me a mild sense of dread because it basically sets up room for this to happen in the real world and a reason why none of us would have heard about it. Of just like so many times when this would have become like a whole thing, like a whole crisis, and then it doesn't, which I guess does get spoiled by later in the book, like the end of the book when it does become like a whole national crisis essentially. But like I really liked the sense of dread of like so many times when this should have gone shut down before it became a problem. Which I guess you could reflect upon the rest of the book with that, because the rest of the book is people ignoring problems until they become catastrophic. And this opening of the book is like just barely missing the catastrophe coming.
I think I said something very similar to that, Deer, when I first started reading it. I told you, and you're like, yeah, that happens unfortunately a lot in so many fields, like the pharmaceutical, medical field, and stuff like that.
No ads.
What was the thing you mentioned though? I brain fried.
Let me scroll up in our DMs and see if I can find it.
Yeah, you're good.
I could always remind you what I messaged you after I read the prologue.
Go on.
Hang on, let me get the exact.
Because this
here.
is specific things that like during an ad I don't mind talking about.
Here we go. I messaged you and said I have to hold all of my opinions until August. Fuck. This was back in like early July.
Oh, excuse me.
And you asked me, have you finished it? I assume.
Oh, there's another one.
And I replied, "What's the meanest word I can affectionately call you? Do you think I know some people use bitch. Can I use bitch here, or should I use motherfucker or whatever? And Deer was like, oh, bitch is fine. And I said, okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, no, so I have to hold on my opinions till August? Fuck. Oh, you finished it? Bitch, I read the prologue! Like, no, I have opinions! I have so many opinions!
Yeah!
We're just starting!
My thing that I sent to you was when I first started it. I was like, oh, Alice. Hey, nice dinosaur pick. Ivy League scientist. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, to be fair, that happens a lot.
Okay, to be fair, if you were a biologist and you were like, yeah, weird animal sample, whatever, and someone was like, that's a dinosaur, would your first instinct be to go, oh my god, you're so right?
I know it wouldn't be,
No,
but
it
it's
wouldn't be.
still.
So realistically, it's just because it's funny because on the outside perspective, we obviously know it's a dinosaur. The people in the book obviously wouldn't, and people in a real life situation probably would not think a dinosaur either. I just find it funny because we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, dramatic irony.
Going into like reading this book for the first time, like obviously you're going to want, you know, it's dinosaurs, right? Wrong model. Fuck. Hold on. This is the model with the visual glitch. Yeah, it's irony. It's one of those things where like they don't prepare for the smallest things, and that bites them in the ass all the time.
That's where the ironic. No, just in case, for someone that says just in case a lot, you're missing a lot of everything.
We spared no expense. We figured out everything. They used that line, by the way. Crichton or Steven Spielberg picked up a lot of the lines from the book, which I very much appreciate.
Yeah, especially when, like, in the very beginning, Malcolm's talking about, like, hey, you ever hear about chaos theory? Okay, Mr. Jeff Goldblum, I see you did your you did your research.
Okay.
Not feeling biased today?
Sorry. Yes. Should we talk about the introduction to Grant and Sadler, or should we talk more about the prologue?
Let's see.
We can move on. What's the next part?
Well, the next part is, one second. I'm just pulling things up on the side. The next part would be.
The next part is the introduction to Grant and Sadler, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because it's coming up with everybody who is going to look at the sample, basically, and it eventually gets sent to Ellie and Grant, because that woman is still not taken seriously at all.
Right. Poor Alice. Never
Yeah.
taken seriously because she's an intern.
And a woman.
Does not help. Yeah, it does not help that I didn't remember her name until I went back into our DM, so even I forgot her name.
That's fair. There's a lot of people in this book.
There are
There's
so
many people in this book. Yeah, we could talk about Ellie and Alan. Go ahead. Will?
Sorry, I was checking and reading stuff.
You're fine.
I don't think it was sent to Grant, and this is probably minor, but
it was a photo,
Grant and Sadler, wasn't it? Someone took the photo to Grant and Sadler, like
she faxed it to them.
Yeah.
No. She took a full photo of the compy's back legs and faxed it to them, and was like, "Hey, can you look at this?" And he saw it and was like, "Holy fuck!" And then Hammond calls directly after, and then Grant mentions it, and he's like, gets really quiet. And goes, oh, okay, who showed you that sample? Okay, well, I'll deal with that. Anyway, would you come to my park? Sort of thing.
Bitches probably did.
But yeah, so go on, Will. The Ellie and Alan, feel free.
No, I'm sorry. Now I'm looking at the book. I'm 5 seconds away from figuring out who faxed them this, and it's gonna bug me if I don't find out.
It's
I'm
okay.
so sorry. Give me a second.
You're fine.
You're good about that. I remember that part because Hammond was just like, I'm going to offer you guys, like, what was it? $50,000 a day or something like that?
Yes.
$25,000 a day?
Yes.
So $75,000
For the weekend.
3 days.
Well, they talked about prior to that he got brought on for consultation or whatever, right?
Yeah.
God damn it.
So.
Stop going in the trash can! I want my coffee, motherfucker!
Oh yeah, y'all are 100% right. That woman faxes Sadler and Grant.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Who would have thought that in this conversation about a bunch of people not believing a woman until she takes matters into her own hands, I would hear you two be like, no, this is what happens. I'd be like, I don't know about that.
Right. Okay, whatever, VTube Studio, I don't care.
It might be an item scene because that happened to me once before too.
Okay. I think you might be right.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, my brain for a second just thinking, can you imagine doing a job that pays $25,000 a day?
No.
I can't even.
Absolutely not. No.
$25,000 for a single day is nearly my entire yearly sum that I make.
100%. Yeah.
I can't even fathom $25,000 a day. So I can't really, I can't blame them for saying yes and doing it.
It literally funds their entire dig for like 6 more years.
Yeah. It's insane. Just oh my God.
Yeah.
Imagine just getting paid for a day. Yeah, I can't believe that.
I can't imagine, honestly, at all.
I don't know. Yeah, no,
that's where the moral ethics kind of come into. It's just like, how far would you go for the money thing? And, you know, that gets pulled into play a lot.
Yeah, we get back to the whole, like, all the scientists are doing it for money, and I found a desk. And money, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it basically becomes this thing where, like, even Ellie and Grant are pulled into that because of course they're going to try to do it for like the right reasons, but the right reasons for them are still fucked up.
Yeah. No one's like fully innocent in the entire thing.
The only ones, the kids. Yes, the kids are kind of the only innocent ones, really.
Because they're just going along for a trip with their grandpa because their parents are going through a divorce. Yep,
that's it. They're the only ones, basically.
I don't know how to Yeah, no, sorry. I thought I had a thought and then I'm processing because the idea of Sadler and Grant, it's kind of funny how other characters think about the money and prestige that they're getting, like with Wu and with Hammond especially, of course.
Yeah.
Versus with Sadler and Grant, they like
sorry, go on.
They're pulled out of their lives because of the money, but I don't think the money literally ever comes up again in regards to them.
Yeah.
The rest of the time they're not even thinking about it.
I appreciate that you find it cute as well, Anna.
It's very cute. Will needs a little step stool.
Yeah.
He's too short.
A little bit.
Help.
Mom,
I want to have opinions about the book too.
Wait, so am I, who's who? Am I Lex or am I Tim?
Right?
Do not make me Lex.
If I'm Jesus. Lex, can I be Lex from the movie at least?
Yeah, you can be.
We can both be Tim. Would that work?
Yeah, that's
cool
fine.
Being a Tim.
That's fine.
You can be Tim and I can be Mitt.
All right. So after Grant and Ellie are brought onto the island and everything, I find it so crazy. I'm thinking back to the movie and the parallels in there. Like the movie in this part, I don't remember. I don't know if anybody else remembers it. It was so goofy in the very beginning of the movie, and Hammond is literally trying to be Walt Disney.
Oh yeah, no.
Quirky
he wants to be. He 100% wants to be.
He wanted to be Walt Disney, and it kept going on and on about the kids. And I just remember this quirky video movie that they showed in the beginning.
The DNA strand, yeah.
Yeah, the DNA
Dino
strand
DNA.
Oh my god, it was so quirky. Oh,
because he wanted to make a theme park.
Does Saranya want in?
Yes, you can come. You can come join. I don't mind. As long as you read the book, I don't give a shit. Come in. I just want people that read the book. That's all.
Yeah.
But that part was so quirky, and I remember in the movie when the room exactly moved, and I blame the fact that I've just been to Disney World so many goddamn times because my family and everything.
Yeah.
We have timeshare and all that, so we go there a lot. Just how the room moved and opened up into this big glass viewing thing of like the lab and everything, and I was like, oh, this is very Carousel of Progress.
Yeah. It is 100%. I wanted to be Walt Disney, and that only somewhat is true in the book. Hammond is much more of an asshole in the book. Oh my god.
Geese just straight up says, "I'm doing this for so much
Oh
money."
yeah, he's basically like, if only the rich kids come, like who gives a fuck?
Hey, those are still kids I'm making
charge
happy.
Exactly.
He said the quiet part out loud of like, if I just make this so expensive, it's not so much it's not so much for the kids. It becomes like a status statement that you were able to pay to come and experience this. So one diffuses the argument of, oh, it's for the kids. It's not for the kids.
It's not for the kids. It's never for the fucking kids.
It's not for the environment, because I'm pretty sure Malcolm said that, I think one argument, I can't remember if it was from the book or the movie, was that if I had filled up this island full of extinct animals or animals that were on the bridge of extinction, you wouldn't say anything to it. Yeah, the condor.
Yeah, it's a whole thing over their Chilean sea bass that they're eating, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure that sea bass at the time was endangered. Anyway, if I was making condors, you wouldn't say shit about this. And he's like,
he's not making condors. He's not making any endangered animals that are actually like important to the environment. He is strictly making something that was already dead, that's not impacting the world at the time.
Yep.
For money and amusement. And that's where a lot of like the anti-capitalism comes into play, because we as readers and we as, I hope, understandably normal human beings that have empathy for other things understand this is inherently wrong.
Yeah.
Just trying to casually think about the parallels between fucking Lex and Hammond.
Yeah, no, thinking about it, right? There's a lot more parallels between Lex and Hammond than like I kind of realized.
Yeah.
Like Tim and Grant are kind of very similar characters, all things considered.
They're dinosaur nerds.
Yeah, they're just dinosaur. And also, to be fair, they probably, when they are in danger, the voice of the book is very similar.
What?
Like when they're trying.
Do you want the book to hold?
Sure.
Here you go. Secret talking.
Thank you. And you continue, Will. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I want to. This might go off on a tangent about the voice of this book, because how the book is written is very interesting to me. But like Lex and Grant, it felt to me, had very similar monologues. It felt like, especially in the action scenes, there wasn't Grant and sorry, did I say Grant and Lex? I meant Grant and Tim. Grant and Tim had very similar like moments in action scenes of like trying to think analytically compared to other people who were more panicky. They seem like very similar. Now they're not the same, because Grant's interaction with stuff usually is based around him trying to form a plan. Yeah. And Tim's stuff is he doesn't know what's going on, but they're still taking very similar approaches, or they felt like they were taking similar approaches to like Tim being upside down in a fucking car versus like Grant trying to figure out the velociraptors. Like the voice of the book felt very similar. Yeah. As compared to other characters who were much more like fuck.
They were trying to figure it out because they were using their knowledge of dinosaurs that they have, which is very minimal, but it's still knowledge.
I think I think in that kind of parallel, why Grant and Tim worked so well together at the time is that they both had a level knowledge of dinosaurs, but at the same time, Grant had the wisdom and knowledge of an adult versus Tim having the impulsiveness and thinking in the moment as a kid without a lot of worries to back him up, like to weigh him down. So like you have two core sort of age differences here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it worked out very well. Meanwhile, Lex is unfortunately becoming a little bit too much like
oh my god, fuck Lex.
And probably like Hammond being just the spoiled of why is everything happening to me? It's everybody else's fault.
Okay. We've taken a lot of time to bash on Lex. Appropriately. She sucks.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
I want to try to categorize better why I don't like Lex, besides the fact that she's a whiner. Yeah. And I think that it's not just that she's like an asshole little kid. It's that she always in the moment does whatever needs to be done in order to raise the tension.
Yes.
In a way that like other characters do stuff that raises the tension because they make mistakes. You know, like there are plenty of times where like Wu holds the door open. I actually want to call out one specific scene that's stuck in my craw.
Yeah.
With Sattler, which was very similar, which made me realize the problem I had with Lex.
Yeah.
There's a point in this book later in it where a bunch of characters are held up in the lodge, like with the raptors outside.
Yes.
And there's one point where like Sattler is basically acting as a distraction at the front gate, distracting the raptors.
Yeah.
At that point, Wu, the guy who made the dinosaurs, like burst through the front door to yell at Sattler, like, "Oh my God, come inside right now!"
Yeah.
Like, there's a problem. Come inside. And for some reason, and I don't know why she does this, because I don't know why, but Sattler like turns around and was like, "There's no problem. Calm down. Why are you so mad?" Like, it was. That's what Lex is literally all of the time.
Yeah.
It's like she only like ignores or antagonizes other characters or makes stuff worse.
Yeah, it just does not listen to outside opinions.
Yeah. A lot of it was like
trait that Hammond has.
Yeah, it was very much what's the word? Spoiled, basically. Because she's like, if Dad was here, he would know what to do. It's like, well, Dad's not fucking here, Brat. Like, we have this thing. We are trying to help you not be scared. So stop being a little shit for 2 seconds, please.
And then she'll turn around and make fun of Tim being scared of heights while she's climbing over a fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, she ping-pongs between two completely different things depending on what she needs to be, sometimes within a couple of pages of each other.
Yeah.
Her either being so scared she's panicking, which again is fine. Her like yelling and like attracting dinosaurs.
Borderline
is, like, in isolation, it's fine.
There is also the one that I think of is where she's sitting in the drain pipe and her head is hitting the back of the drain pipe. Like
she's literally having a mental breakdown.
Yeah, but then 2 minutes later, she's like, well, where's Grant? Grant would know what to do. Like, Grant was just here. What's wrong with you, Tim? And it's like, bitch, please.
Yeah.
She's incredibly inconsistent, and she does not have any character growth in the book. Actually, I'm trying to think of any characters that have character growth in this book.
I think most growth that characters had were the end of their growth, aka when they died.
Yeah, I would say that characters grew, but the characters would have grown after everything, like because of what happened.
More growth in the second book.
I don't think.
Yeah.
It almost feels weird. I don't think any characters were, any of the living characters at least, were like, maybe Gennaro was like inherently changed by his experience at Jurassic Park. I think that would be fair.
I think the most change that Gennaro had was in the very beginning of the book when he saw everything. He was like, this is going to make us so much money. And then by the end of the book, he's like, no, they all need to die. This island needs to be destroyed.
Yeah, there were a couple of times that I remember that it was very much like he was walking and he was already in the mindset that they needed to shut this down and never open it. Like, that was something that he openly was like saying. So I think he died though. But
Gennaro doesn't die.
I know the person that I'm talking about that was like, no, I don't want to do this. It might have been Gennaro, but still, like, that did happen.
Gennaro at the beginning of the book, because he was sent in by the investors for Hammond to examine the island to make sure if it was suitable to be open.
Yeah.
Came in, told Hammond outright, because he didn't like Hammond in the first place, and honestly, I can't blame him, of, I am here to see if this island is suitable to be open or not. And if I'm not convinced at the end of the trip, they're not convinced.
Yeah.
And
shout out to that quote in the book.
Yeah. And then later, when he saw the dinosaurs for the very first time, said, or at least thought, we are going to make so much money, which is, again, accurate in the book. The only difference, not accurate in the book, accurate in the movie. The only difference then is they cut off any growth that he possibly has in the movie when he just gets eaten out of the toilet from big old T-Rex.
Yeah.
Where in the book, he's like, okay, no, this is panicking. Okay, no, this man is dying. Okay, no, he's giving him a lot of credit. He's probably one of the most realistic thinkers.
Yeah.
Next to Muldoon.
Mm-hmm.
Of the situation at hand.
Yeah.
He might be. I don't know if he's the character I enjoy following the most.
I don't often side with lawyers. I would
probably point to him as like one of the best written from a characterization standpoint, if not the best written from a characterization standpoint.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Can I make a parallel real quick where Anna just said that she's agreeing with the lawyers and it's weird? Because literally in the movie where they're coming down and Malcolm's there, or what? No, it's during the Condor thing. He's like, the only one on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. For once, the lawyer is actually the morally decent person in the book.
For once. Jesus.
Well, that's the funny thing. I don't know if he's morally decent because, again, can I skip around in the plot now, or do we want to stay focused
go ahead.
on? Okay. There's like two defining scenes for Gennaro that I want to like lay as a baseline essentially for this conversation.
Yeah.
The first is his introductory scene where he is at the law firm being told like, you need to go do this. I forget the exact circumstances. Please excuse me. Hello, Formal.
Hi, Formal.
Hello.
Formal, did you read the book? Formal, get out. I love you, get out.
It's book readers only right now, hun.
I love you, get out. So I love you so much.
This isn't what I was told. But whatever.
Did you read the book? That's the only thing.
We
it's
told
fine.
the same thing.
It's fine.
I listened to the
I
book.
love you. You could have listened to the book. It's
This
fine.
isn't what I can't find. I'm on mobile. Just kick me.
Okay. I love you. I'm just gonna put you in. Anyway, keep talking.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
Anyway.
There we go.
I just put them in a different PC.
That's very funny.
Anyway.
Two scenes that I want to point out that I really liked Gennaro in. Or that made his character more interesting.
Yeah.
The first is this introductory scene where he's assigned, where like Gennaro almost seems like lukewarm to Hammond in this introductory scene, to the best of my memory. Where like he remembers him as just kind of like a dodly old man.
Yeah, the man with the tiny elephant who's very good at getting money.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, a quick shout out to the tiny detail where the head lawyer who's like sending him is like, if you find anything wrong, burn it all down, which they do at the end.
Yes,
but
the military literally does, yeah.
Yeah, there's that, where Gennaro seems like almost friendly to Hammond at at the start in his inclination, but still has problems with like doubts of like his ability to actually get stuff done. And then the second scene that I want to point out, which I like Gennaro in, is the moment he abandons the kids.
Yeah, that's actually kind of fair.
Ran for shit, which I honestly,
Again,
I don't know what I would do if I was in a situation and a giant T-Rex was there.
I mean, he has no familial attachment to those kids, though, right? So
yeah, no. That's what I
like.
like.
He barely knew their names.
That's what I like. I don't think it's executed to perfection, but I like the character growth of him like running away and then feeling ashamed about it.
Yeah, he does feel bad about it, which is nice.
The entire rest of the book is him just doing dangerous stuff he doesn't want to do.
Yeah,
but
like
he has to.
Like that T-Rex, I don't think he would have done half the shit he did in the book with the raptors if the T-Rex scene hadn't happened.
Yep.
Which is nice. It's nice to be like, oh no, character growth, yes. Which is again tying back into which characters actually did something that they wouldn't have done because of something earlier in the book besides Gennaro.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah.
Very fair. I think Gennaro is the only one that did something that he would not have normally done because of the situation. Hammond stuck down to his guns. Grant already stuck down to his guns. Ellie, same. They both were. They're both more on the morally-ish good side.
I'm doing my fucking best, and this is all I can do.
Pretty much.
So
Grant hates computers.
Yeah, it's funny to me.
He had the right instinct there.
Yeah, it's funny to me because there's also a point where he's like sent in to deal with the computers and turn them back on and get walked through it. And I'm just like, why are you sending him? Like, of all people.
He was so mad. He was grumpy about the entire thing.
At that point, all the other computer experts were dead, right?
It didn't matter if they were an expert, though. Grant is like sending a baby to go do it.
Yeah.
Fair.
So that's why it was funny for me.
To be fair, let's go down the list of alive characters at that point.
Okay.
There's the children. There's...
I don't think they were there at that point, but yeah.
I think... Let's see. Malcolm has his ankle broken. Hammond is an old man and an asshole. Wu is dead. Sadler is...
Sadler.
Legs. Distraction.
She has legs, yeah.
He is like...
You had no idea how much I had to stop myself from just like looking at this book and being like, what would there be with Sadler doing something? Is it just that she's a woman or is it something else? Like, no, wait, she was being a distraction. Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, did you purposely go find a black desk or did you color code everything?
I color coded everything. What's up? I was sitting here color coding everything while y'all were talking, yeah.
Continue. I just ended up a no.
No, it's very important. It looks very cozy.
It needs to be aesthetic.
I regret not making tea for this conversation.
Ooh, I can get you some tea. Hold on. I can't. Oh, hold on. Is it cup?
Well, they're sticking everything.
Go on.
Okay. Well, I don't really have that much of a follow-up besides talking about more specific moments in the book. Do we want to lap back around to the timeline now that I've had my Gennaro power hour?
Yeah, here, I've made you
quick-
some tea, Will. It's in the Christmas cup because it was the only one I could find.
No,
What
it's
are
okay. It's
your
okay. It's okay.
guys' favorite dinosaurs? Because I already said mine were the compies.
Yeah.
I like the little fuckers.
Will, favorite dinosaur? Do you have one?
Favorite dinosaur? Come back to me.
Okay. So I actually dislike the raptors a lot in this, but I actually really like the little baby raptor, but not for the reasons you think. So there's this little baby raptor that is still like being matured basically because it recently hatched a couple months ago. And they're taking care of it and they interact with it 3 times throughout the book. At the very beginning, it like jumps on Lex. It's very cute. It's like, oh, it's a little guy. And
like
then,
a puppy.
yeah. And then towards the end of the book, where everything is going to shit, literally, hey, I need to put Jurassic Park in the items so I can put it on the desk. Yeah, no, I did make Jurassic Park.
Good job.
Thank you.
I love how much effort you were putting into all of this.
Why
It's
not?
great.
I put an effort to
It's great.
everything.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the book, the other raptors break in and run into this raptor, and they just eat it. Like, because there's no mental connection there. They were basically raised in a non-familial environment, so there's no reason why this little baby raptor would be, like, important to them.
Anything to them.
And Tim
yeah.
does use it as a distraction, to be fair, but
It still sucks.
it still sucks, but I really like the imagery of it. That they were like, oh, I know how animals work. If I give a puppy to a dog, more than likely that dog is going to be like, oh, it's a little puppy. I'm going to be, like, nice with it, basically. That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen at all. They fucking
is
rip that
very
baby
fair.
apart. And it's
Yeah, that is fair.
and it's very interesting to basically think about it as like their idea of what dinosaurs were and what the park was going to be versus what it actually became. And that is why I
Yeah.
really like the baby raptor, and only because it, gives that
One
imagery.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem.
Mike
Hey,
Wazowski, Dana.
yeah. Here's Jurassic Park, everybody. I got the books for you. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And you too can read Jurassic Park now and be in the voice chat.
You can. You can now read Jurassic Park. Here you go. Here you go. Here's your books of Jurassic Park. The other ones are, well, I'm going to move your cup. I'm sorry. I threw your cup away. Hold on.
No, you knocked it over. Where's my tea?
Hold on. I'll get you another cup. I'm sorry. Here you go. Got it. We're good.
It's not the, oh no, keep a big size. Put me in the cup.
Put you in the cup? Okay, hold on. It's gonna be very dumb. Okay, here's you.
The point is not to be smart. The point is to see. The point is not whether or not we should. The point is to see if we can.
It 100% is.
I fucked up the quote. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I want to talk. I want to take a second.
I also want to talk
about something I have very little knowledge about, but which I like, which is the writing style of this book.
Okay.
And why this book is just so blunt with its writing style. All the sentences are very like short. There's like very little poetic liberty in the voice. It's very like descriptive, more so than it'll never. I'm not sure if it ever really, maybe once or twice, describes anything with like a metaphor or a simile. It's just very blunt, like there's blood dripping down the raptor's teeth in like short, concise
Technically
sentences.
there's two books. Anyway, go on.
This book feels very analytical in its descriptions, and that I like that. I don't know how to phrase this correctly. I want to go with contrast versus like the incredible violence. Again, it's part of the reason why the T-Rex is my favorite.
So there's a lot of emphasis on all the action, not so much emphasis on like describing things or like figuring out ways to like get the reader to understand things. It's like, no, this building is cold, militaristic. I'm not gonna do any sort of metaphor to this because this isn't a fucking metaphor time. This is, hey, everything fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It also kind of. Sorry, go ahead, Anna.
Oh, sorry. That was what I was gonna say before I got pulled away really fast. Your point about the dog versus puppy versus dinosaurs when it comes to like the baby things, it's a very good point of like showing this is what humans think and what we would perceive to do with like a baby versus what the actual coldness of nature can potentially be. And some of that we as people think this is a really sad thing, that it's an infant, you should give it life and stuff like that. It's not.
Animals don't give a shit.
The same. Animals don't care.
Animals don't give a shit. If they are starving, for example, they will not give a shit. Rats eat their own babies.
Okay, that is actually very funny because if there's one, the least believable to me animals in this book are the raptors.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that you don't like the raptors, dear.
Yeah.
The raptors are also my least favorite dinosaur. I don't know if I have a favorite dinosaur.
That's fair.
Really? Maybe like I kind of find the spitting dinosaurs funny. I guess I would have to default to the compies because I like their consistency.
I like the little shit personality, and that's what the compies are. They are just a bunch of little shits.
I like that. I like that the compies make a lot of sense to me as a scavenger. The problem I have with the Velociraptors and the problem I have with the T-Rex in the second half of its appearances is hyper aggression for no reason.
Okay. So. Well, have you watched Blackfish?
No.
Okay, so Blackfish is about how we've treated killer whales at SeaWorld, right? Because killer whales basically are this hyper-intelligent thing, almost as like basically borderline as intelligent as humans, and put into these tiny little holding cells with no interaction, sometimes no light, no sound overnight. And it turns them into serial killers, legitimately. And so that is basically what has happened to the raptors. Because when you put an intelligent animal in a cage that they were not built for and do not fulfill all of their needs, like they're going to have anxiety and they're going to become psychotic. So
Because the Velociraptors were in like a pen.
yes, they were in a pen. They were not allowed to be on tour. They were not allowed. Yeah, they're all stressed as fuck basically all the time, and they become psychotic because there's nothing for the brain to do. It's the same way as if you don't fulfill a dog's needs, they're gonna become destructive. They're going to tear apart like furniture and stuff. They're gonna pee on your fucking floor. They're gonna do whatever they can to fulfill that need in their brain. It is the same idea.
So then that raises a question for me of what was it that you didn't like about the Raptors? You said that they were your least favorite.
I found them boring. I was just like, I understand why they're doing this and why they're breaking in and stuff, but like, it felt like they were only going after the humans, basically. There was no other, like, point
There's
to
no
them.
other outsource. Yeah, that's true, because they had basically the entire park to
Yes.
go.
All the
and hunt
fences were down at that point.
anything.
They could have done anything. And yes, like the killer whales in Blackfish, for example, I forget his name, the big main one that killed a whole bunch of people.
I don't remember.
He's still alive, by the way. They just use him as a sperm bank, which don't do that. That's temperament is no. But he still had times where he was not psychotic and he would like do things for rewards because that's how it works, right? Because it's getting that serotonin, basically, that I do this thing, it makes me happy. And like, I get that if it was killing humans makes them happy, but with how violently they were coming after humans, that was just kind of like, it's kind of all they're for.
I guess on like an author's standpoint kind of point of view, they had to give some sort of final climax, some big final thing that they had to overcome to get to the very end of the book. So they took, well, you can't exactly have a T-Rex going through all the small buildings that they were in or in the kitchen and all that stuff. Basically take a bunch of mini T-Rexes and let them loose.
Yeah.
I guess is what they were
doing.
doing.
It was going on the theme of everything fucks up, and when you think, again, Malcolm's theory, everything fucks up, and when you think you're good, it's not. And they were the it's not. But it was just like, okay. Anyway, go on,
Murphy's
Will.
Law.
Yeah.
It's Murphy's Law, basically.
You were saying, Will?
Okay, I mean, no, it makes sense. That the raptors would be so hyper aggressive, the 8 pendant raptors, and then something I was always wondering about is like the nest raptors were like pretty chill.
Yeah, they were.
But with that framing, it makes a lot more sense because they weren't penned up and driven insane, basically.
They were allowed to have familial bonds. They were allowed to go hunting. They were allowed to fulfill all of their needs.
It's just me watching Halloween and being like, it's not realistic that Mike Myers would kill this many people.
Right?
Humans are inherently good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, okay. Why is the T-Rex such a fucking asshole then?
I would say that it's because he's locked up, but I think it's just apex predator. I think the T-Rex is kind of badly written, to be fair. I think it's...
I like the T-Rex
a lot more in the movie.
I like the T-Rex a lot in its initial attack. I find it very fascinating. I think its pursuit, essentially, of Grant and the kids does not track very well.
I think it finds them entertaining is what he was trying to go for. And yeah, it is the apex predator trope. You're right, Plastic. But it feels... Again, he had the whole fucking park. Like...
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's not even like... The T-Rex isn't actively pursuing them either because, like, when they run into the T-Rex the second time, it's just chasing some other dinosaurs. It is just messing with stuff. But, like, at one point, I almost really liked the raft scene. Let me set the stage a little bit. We're jumping around here.
Yes, can I just point out this infographic that apparently this course hero has? It's...
What course? What?
The timeline, it has other things in it, but like this infographic, the imagery of it on stream, it's very silly. Oh, here, I'll just put it in secret talking.
Fascinating.
Oh, it's very silly. Anyway, go on.
God, that's so silly. Yes, what I wanted to talk about was one of the scenes that almost really liked was Grant and the kids, the T-Rex attacks, they find their way to safety in like I think it's the hadrosaur paddock or something.
Yes. It's inside of the feeder.
Yes, and they sleep for the night. They wake up in the morning, some stuff happens that doesn't really matter, and then the situation that they basically have to go through is the T-Rex is asleep on the beach.
Yeah.
And they want to get onto the water.
Again,
to take
fuck
the
Lex.
river.
Fuck Lex.
Yes. Yeah, they have to get onto the water to like get to the lodge because they're trying to get back to the lodge at this point in the story.
Yeah.
So the problem that I have is the way the scene progresses, essentially they like sneak past the T-Rex, they get the raft opened, it makes a loud sound and does not disturb the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Like notably. It makes a loud sound, does not disturb it. And I was so ready for this scene to end with it just being like, the T-Rex is fed, the T-Rex doesn't really want to mess with them at this point.
Yeah.
It doesn't care about them.
Yeah.
I was ready to take that away from that scene. And then Lex coughs.
Yeah, no, and it wakes up and chases them.
Of all things, yeah.
And then it keeps chasing them all the way to the waterfall, and then
Yeah, no, it does back off and it just runs into them later, I guess, because it's chasing them.
yeah, it's implied that it's like following them.
Yes. That's sort of like, it's the problem I had with the raptors, which I like Deer's, I don't want to call it an explanation of it, but I like the logic of like those 8 raptors specifically were like just absolutely gone feral.
Yeah.
Implying that they aren't animals already, but you know what I mean. But like with the T-Rex, it is the only dinosaur then that's just kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he is. He's a giant asshole, and I mean, it kills Hammond too, which is nice, but I don't know. It just kind of.
The T-Rex doesn't kill him. Oh well, no, the T-Rex doesn't directly kill Hammond.
Yeah, but like it's still just kind of a, I don't know. What did I get? Oh, my shoes. Okay, sorry. I bought shoes yesterday after stream. I like literally was in so much foot pain that I had to buy shoes. And I bought UFOs.
Oh, nice.
I'm very much looking forward. I'm very much looking forward to getting, I think, somewhere in the realm of like 16 packages at work over the next 2 weeks of just individual Pokemon cards.
Amazing.
But yeah, no. I almost want to revert back to the timeline again, just so I can get to the T-Rex attack, because the T-Rex attack is my favorite point in the book, and I want to talk a lot about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I mean, where did we leave off? We left with Grant and Sadler. We met Gennaro.
Basically, everyone goes to the island. That's where we are.
Everyone goes to the island. It's kind of notable that in this timeline on like Course Hero or Spark Notes or whatever.
I'm standing up,
That's just like chapter 6, someone gets attacked. Chapter 15, everyone arrives on the island.
Yeah. it's very yeah. Oh, these shoes are nice. What the fuck? Oh shit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, anyway.
They arrive on the island, the grandchildren arrive, and then there's just kind of like to be fair, what, like 15 chapters again of not a lot. It's just fun dialogue and character interaction story.
Yeah.
Like going through the explanation of what the park is.
Malcolm sitting there and being like, so there's a part where Malcolm comes up and is basically like, oh, I'm gonna ask question after question after question, right? And everyone, Malcolm dislikes Hammond, okay? They hired him, and this is a big point I wanted to point out. They hired him to tell them what is wrong with the park so they could fix it. But then they didn't listen to a word he fucking said.
Nope.
Like, oh my god, because there's a point where
Hammond would cut all the corners, and he's just like, no, the funding and everything.
Yeah. There's a point where Malcolm's like, okay, how many dinosaurs do the computer search for every day? And he's like, here they are. Here's all the dinosaurs. Here's where we watch them, blah, blah, blah. And he's just kind of looking at us like, uh-huh. And then later it comes up that they have 250 dinosaurs, basically, let's say. I forget the number. And he's like, okay, search for 300. And then they find 300, and they're like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, because you only expected what you expected. You're not expecting more than what you have done. And it's just like,
I forget, is that before after the dinosaur attack?
This is after. I'm just kind of, I'm bringing it up because Malcolm is in the computer room and they're asking question after question after question. And Arnold is basically like, what the fuck is your problem? We keep telling you that this place is safe. Why don't you believe us that this place is safe? Because we did all these things. And Malcolm's like, I literally can already see a flaw in your plan, my guy.
It is literally impossible to do every single absolutely possible thing to prevent something from happening. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny. There's the default thing to do in any story is to make the good person correct.
Yes. They make the asshole correct.
They make he's a fucking anime character. He keeps saying like, you're wrong, but I'm not going to tell you why you're wrong.
You should learn about it yourself. Basically.
He is just such an asshole.
He's the rock star.
Listen, if I was Arnold, I would also be like, this cunt. Like,
yeah, but like,
I think everybody after a while was thinking, this guy's a fucking cunt.
He is, but they also still aren't listening to anything he says, even when he's right. And so it's
I think they're gone to the point of like, you're just here and you said this, but we don't believe you, and you're just gonna be here now.
You know what? You know what bugs me though about Malcolm?
What?
Is that there was room for this character
to improve
that I wanted. No, there was room for him to panic because he's an academic, he's a mathematician, he's like talking about chaos theory and everything, and he is right that the park is a problem, and his only reaction. His only character trait throughout the book is basically to be a smug dick about it, even when he is in mortal peril.
Yes.
He's just like, whatever, I already know. He feels too much like he's gonna push up his glasses and be like, I foresaw this, as he's like bleeding out of his nose.
I was right.
They really cast a Jeff Goldblum as the perfect character.
Oh, 100%, 110%. Oh my god.
Perfect Malcolm.
Oh yeah, no, he's 100% the perfect Malcolm. Oh my god.
I really want to
the
watch
money,
this movie
Zizzy. They literally offered them like $75,000 for 3 days of work. Like, of course that's why he's going to stay. Like, oh my god.
That's like, you know, it's not safe. You know, it's dangerous. You know, you're in potential danger. But the thing is, there's the money. I mean,
it's almost like it parallels the whole, giving people rabies is unsafe. All these scientific whatever without restrictions is unsafe, but you're gonna do it anyway because of the money.
Okay. Let's be fair. Malcolm is the one character who's a hater for the love of the game. You could have offered him $0 and he would have showed up on the island and be like,
he would have 100% have showed up anyway. He would have 100%.
He would have fucking manifested in the corner like Dracula.
Yeah.
Just to call Hammond a bitch.
100%.
Granted, I probably would be too.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Can we talk about the freaking monologue that Hammond was having like right before he was dying, where he was just going through all the people and who was actually at fault and at blame for everything?
Let me go to the bathroom, and that way we can move to the tour, and then Will can vamp about his favorite scene ever. Anyway, we're gonna talk about anything before the tour. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay, before the tour. Whoa, before the tour.
Anna, come here. All right, here. We're gonna sit in a little seance circle in the corner while we wait for Deer.
All right, I'll light up some candles.
Yes, of course. We're going to try to literally summon any positive qualities about Hammond.
Oh god. That's gonna be a really tough summon, man.
God, I can't think of anything. No, sorry, I got nothing.
He's ambitious.
God,
You can't say he's not ambitious.
You know what Hammond is?
What?
He is. This is not a deep read. This is not a controversial take. He's just the manager who believes that every problem is solvable, so any warning is inherently ignorable.
Hi.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would also agree with that little bit of words that you said about everything is solvable.
He's also the one slur.
Mm-hmm. He is.
He's the one slur?
Yeah.
The
capitalism.
I'm gonna destroy the trees.
Cause it make money.
It make money.
It make
It's make the money.
Okay.
You gotta make it the money.
Tor.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what's kind of an interesting difference? One thing that I think that the book does kind of that the movie does better than the book from my vague memories, and these are vague memories, so I kind of want to say this and then see your two's opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
I like before the T-Rex attack, before the power goes out, before stuff goes wrong.
Yeah.
I like how the movie handles the tour better.
That nothing shows up.
Yes.
I like the opposite. Fun fact. Go on.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like the sort of like you have all this build up to what Jurassic Park wants to be from like the sales pitch and the lobby and everything.
Yeah.
And then perhaps the biggest problem is that it's too sudden, but like the contrast of that with the reality of like running a theme park and it's just not going to plan. Like not only do you have the dangers of the animals, but how do you actually even control the animals in a way that people find entertaining?
There was a quote where they were basically like Jurassic Park had all the problems of a zoo and a theme park.
Yes.
I do remember that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So out of curiosity then, dear, why do you like the book better?
So on the tour in the movie, they don't run into anything, right? In the
I want
book,
to say they run into,
and they basically see nothing.
Yes.
I want to say they run into like some animals on the tour, but then like
in the movie they do not see a single dinosaur.
Because Malcolm literally goes, "Are there going to be dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour?"
Yes. Okay,
hello,
thank you.
hello.
Yeah. The
I
only
hate
time
that
they actually
man.
saw the dinosaurs before
He's an
everything
asshole.
went to shit was when they like took them out into like the field itself.
Yes, they saw the
okay, thank you.
Triceratops, which it was a Stegosaurus in the book, by the way. So you know. So the reason I like it is because yes, they absolutely had the technology to make the tour work every single time because the cars were automated and they had all the dinosaurs chipped and motion tracked. So what it feels like they did is the tour specifically goes down a track that they know where animals are close to the fences. That's what it feels like to me. And it feels more accurate that they like know that this animal is here because they bring up that the tour has like an AI assistant instead of a recorded one, and it basically like adapts to everything that is happening.
You know, it's kind of funny. You bring up a very interesting point, a very interesting thing about like the tour and everything. Do you think Jurassic Park would have been a success if they just like quadrupled the workforce?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would have.
Yes, 100%. I also think the fucking billionaires that went to the Titanic would have been a success if they actually like went through their safety checks.
Yeah.
You know,
it would have been a success and it would have been a staple for people to go if, and it would have been a bragging right if you're able to go.
Yeah.
It would have succeeded.
100%.
Isn't that kind of in conflict though with the central thing of like you cannot tame nature? Just like, oh no, if you weren't such a dumbass, if you had hired the correct amount of people, you would have been fine.
It's not just so much about hiring the correct people. It's also about like doing it the right way. I guess is what I'm saying. I think it would have been a success if Hammond hadn't cut corners, if they hadn't been so secretive about it, if they had gotten actual research teams, more than like 2 people on this thing. But because Hammond wanted it to be a cash grab, it was like 3 fucking scientists all doing this. And
Exactly.
And so they just threw frog DNA in it, which is why the dinosaurs breed. They just did whatever made sense at the time instead of actually thinking about it. If they had spent the money, if they had actually thought about it, I think it would have been a success. I think it still would have had problems down the line. Yeah, for sure. Raptors probably got out at some point. All zoos have that happen. Animals escape all the fucking time from zoos. You just don't know about it. But like, I think it would have been a success otherwise. Absolutely.
That's a lie compared to like the zebra that got out of the Seattle Zoo and was a fucking celebrity.
there are ones that get out that are like known, like leopards and stuff when they get out, right?
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is it would have just been like normal. Like it would have just been like, another day an animal got out, let's go get it. Sort of
Plastic
thing.
makes a good point. If they started out small instead of immediately using the most dangerous animals, started small. Because I even made a comment before. It's just like, why don't you start with herbivores for the most part?
Yeah, but no, they wanted to make all of them right away, instantly.
That T-Rex makes money.
Yeah.
Also, to be fair,
like the fucking any dinosaur wouldn't make money. Like,
Also,
oh my god.
To be fair, they explicitly said they had no idea what they were growing until it was hatched.
Yes, they did. They openly stated like they weren't sure, and then they were like, I guess it's this dinosaur, maybe. Like they're flying by the seat of their pants, 100%.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, that does come with a thing of like, hang on, wait a second, like, why didn't you just stop hatching velociraptors?
Yeah, that too. Like, if you have violent velociraptors, stop hatching them. Like, just stop.
It probably would have been more of a success, like Deer said, if Hammond was doing this in the pursuit of not just money.
Yes.
Right off the frickin' back, because the first thing that he did once they discovered that ability, that technology to be able to clone from DNA, was they patented it.
Yes.
Okay.
They patented it. They hid it away. They did not reach out.
What is it that Malcolm says in the movie? You're patenting it, and you're selling it, and you're selling it.
Yeah.
So
Go on.
Okay. Here's what I think. Here's what I think is probably the biggest downfall for Jurassic Park as well.
As a park or the book?
As a book.
Okay.
As a concept, here's why I think Jurassic Park was doomed to fail. Is because they went too natural with it. It's because there's a very interesting series of conversations between Hammond and Wu, which again to my people is the to my chat specifically is the
geneticist.
Lead geneticist. Yeah. There's a great series of conversations where Wu was like, we can breed these to be less
like
violent.
Dinosaurs. Yeah.
Yes. And Hammond is like, but then they won't be real dinosaurs. And Wu was like, oh, but they already know. No. Like, whatever.
So Hammond wants what they have. He wants them 100% natural. And Wu's like, they're not natural. We've put in lizard DNA, frog DNA. We've rebuilt this DNA. They're not fucking normal dinosaurs. No one knows what dinosaurs were. Like at all.
Calling back to, you mentioned this earlier. We will get. I will give the shout out to Jurassic World for basically having that conversation in it. I don't remember the movie that well, but I do remember that being in it, which I thought was cute.
People don't want to see dinosaurs; they want to see the new next thing, and they made the what's it called, the Indominus.
Yes, but I like the reflection on the park as a whole. Basically, they're not just. The problem isn't that they're making dinosaurs. The problem is that they're trying to recreate the world as it was, but in a way that they can control.
Pause that thought for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Because we got that. This is your chance to go take a piss, chat. Go pee.
Go do the thing.
Go do the pee. Go do your pees.
I'm having a lot of trouble in the Pokemon card game because of the current meta is bench sniping all of the Pokemon I try to set up.
Are you
Pass me the mic. Pass me the mic.
I stay my happiest when I am playing card games, and I'm not actually playing. I'm just collecting.
Here you go. Here you go, Will. Here's your mic.
Card.
Go for it.
There you go.
I'm facing it the wrong way. I don't know
It's
why
fine.
that's so funny to
It's
me.
fine.
I'm shy.
Yeah, go on.
No, I'm not gonna derail the whole stream to talk about the Pokemon card game.
Okay, but we're in an ad, so it doesn't matter.
Well, in that rate, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real
Yeah,
fast.
that's fine. Ugh.
In Warhammer 40k, there was this guy called the God Emperor, right? Except he existed in Warhammer 30k, aka 10,000 years before, because he fucked some shit up, right? Except the reason he had to fuck some shit up was a couple
Here you go.
million years
Yeah, go on.
before.
Go on. Listen, I am the type of friend that loves hearing my friends just
Alright, so
hyperfixate on anything. Makes
You
me
want to
happy.
rant about- you want me to rant about Warhammer for
Rant
like, a
about
minute?
whatever
Sure, why
you
not?
want.
Warhammer is such a weird fucking thing, especially Warhammer 40k, because of the instinct to go maximum and the transition, I think, from going maximum evil in the past to being a more tame, oh no, they're still evil, but we're not going to go like a teenager's concept of evil. We're going to go more like, I don't want to say tame with it because the Imperium of Man in modern Warhammer is still very evil. But you know, Warhammer 40k is something that is always reveled in like blood and gore and murder and like whole planets getting wiped out for no reason, etc. And it's kind of fascinating to watch the transformation of the Warhammer 40k like community online, because a lot of the most public focus.
I was scrolling Tumblr for like Jason Todd content, and I made a legitimate frown, and I saw my VTuber making it, and I felt so embarrassed. Anyway, continue. I go on.
Oh, I
Caught
was,
red-handed.
I was just gonna start a
Get
whole.
your ass back up here.
Oh my god.
Up here. These are crimes.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
your
I
crimes.
don't want to face my crimes. I don't want to face my crimes. Why does
The
it
post
keep?
in chat, you
Why does it
fucking
keep
coward.
going to this scene?
Mazel tov, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. It's because it's in studio
Dark
mode.
tablet.
It's because we're in studio mode. Anyway, yeah, Will was talking about Warhammer during the break, basically.
Oh, fun.
I was starting to set up a point about Warhammer
Will's
because I was
gone.
trying to pause it.
I think Will's behind the books.
Yeah,
gone.
I'm working on it.
Hang on, wait. Don't help! Don't!
Oh, there you are.
No, I'm okay.
Nope, you're gone. Oh, well, bye.
No.
Goodbye.
Nope.
Goodbye, Will.
Don't help!
Here,
Don't
I'll...
help opinions about
Let them-
Warhammer!
Please, my Warhammer for opinions!
I don't want to be that person, but I got about 30 minutes.
That's fine. You don't have to stay for the whole conversation. Is there anything you wanted to bring up specifically, Anna?
I really liked how Hammond died.
That's fair.
I feel like I should feel a little bit bad for bringing it up. So
No.
often, but
No,
this
no,
was
it's fine.
It really showed, because people always like I don't want to use the word fantasize. I want to use like you think about how, if you're theorizing how you are dying, what you are thinking in those final moments of dying. It just shows how shitty of a person Hammond was, that his final few moments of dying
Yeah.
were essentially just blaming every other single person possible that caused this to happen. He blamed Wu for like sabotaging it. He only wanted to do it for this. He blamed Muldoon for being a drunkard. He didn't do anything right.
It was everyone else's fault.
Everyone else but him.
Oh yeah,
And he
no.
dies to the smallest little dinosaur that is the starting dinosaur
Yep.
that got out and started everything.
Killing babies.
Yep. 100%.
That felt like poetic justice to me, if anything, that he died because of the very thing that his carelessness let out into the world that caused other people to start dying and get killed. That was just such poetic justice to me. That was like, yes.
You want to talk about the poetic justice of... Okay, actually, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Everyone in chat. The scene basically is Hammond is just standing around the lodge or whatever after like the raptors are whatever. The kids play a sound of a dinosaur. It scares him. He scrambles into the bushes. He falls down a hill and breaks his ankle.
Yeah. Yep.
And then on his way back up, he gets attacked and eaten by compies.
Yeah.
I really like the dinosaur scream, like, and him just panicking, because the funny thing is that there's like a worker there.
Yeah.
Throughout the book, there's just workers randomly in the park. They just basically come up whenever they want, whenever
they need to.
Whenever Michael Crichton wants to say that there was a second person there, there's a worker somewhere in the room.
Yeah, 100%.
And we could bring up the fact that like almost all of the workers are black or native or whatever. And talk about that.
I do enjoy that because, I'll be honest, it makes me remember Fire Festival a lot.
God.
Because Fire Festival was all those like billionaires and millionaires and rich kids that went to Firefest.
Oh, with
and
the tents and the ham sandwiches and everybody complaining that they weren't getting every.
Yeah, so the thing that it reminds me of is because of how many of the like locals they basically brought in to help that in the end did not get paid, by the way. Fuck them. But like all of the locals and stuff that were there, because it was, you know,
a
money
normal thing to them.
Yeah, it was a normal thing for people to want to build resorts out there, so it was an easy job, and so it was frequently And yeah, Zizzy, that's exactly why I really got along with Cam. If it was Star Wars, I kind of had trouble, but like Anyway,
we're doing our best.
So
anyway, Hammond's death because he's a fucking idiot. I like there's two little details I like about it. First off, I like also, Anna, that the death scene is basically preceded by him like being with someone he doesn't really care about. I would have to go back and reread the scene again to see like if the worker gets. I think there's some scorn from Hammond. I don't remember very clearly, but I don't remember why.
Yeah.
But I also like that like the second the dinosaur sound is heard behind him, Hammond does not give a shit.
Yeah.
He's just like full on like fuck everything. You're on your own. I'm going to run off.
Fucking out of here,
Which also is what causes his death.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he finds out that it's not even the real dinosaur. He hears the kids on the speakers yelling about, I want to press the button. I want to press the button. And then reminder, these are his own grandchildren, by the way. That he was blaming the kids. He's like, I shouldn't have brought these stupid kids anyway to this island. Yeah. It further solidifies how much a piece of the shithead that Hammond is. And then you look back to the movie and Spielberg made him this nice little old grandpa that cares about his kids and just wants to do it for the kids.
Yeah.
I talked before about character growth. I do think that you could argue that Hammond is the character who has the most, what's the opposite of character growth? Character subtraction. He gets worse.
Yeah.
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 He gets worse as the book goes on.
Hi, honey.
Yeah, he gets more unhinged as the book goes on and the things get worse, and he's faced to prove that he was wrong about many things and things are going wrong and not going according to his plan, and he's just whiny bitch baby.
Yeah.
Whiny bitch baby.
Was there... Go on. I was gonna say, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up since you want to keep to your deadline, basically?
I'm trying to think. Nothing else that really pops up, so we can just kind of continue down the timeline if you want.
Will, now is your time, buddy. It's your time.
Walking around, get on the floor. T-Rex is a dinosaur.
Boom, boom.
Everybody do the dinosaur.
I just wanted to say I wanted to do something but the T-Rex.
It's okay.
I did my best.
It's okay.
Can
I
you give me
appreciate. No, I
What
appreciated
is
it.
your grade?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
thank you,
Tor.
thank you.
I really did cheer the T-Rex on a lot in the movie.
Yeah, same.
God, they're just doing their best. Okay. The tour happens. In the book, they see a bunch of dinosaurs and are super impressed and everything.
Not so much.
Yeah, in the movie, not so much happens. In the book, a storm happened. What exactly cuts the power?
Both the storm and Nedry.
Nedry, yeah. He does the switch in security because
White rabbit
he
object.
he had a plan that the storm and the power was going to cut for so and so minutes. He's going to run to the Ambrose. He gets down to the docks, passes the Ambrose off, gets back, turns the power back on, quote unquote, saves the day, and none the wiser.
Yeah.
Oh, basically, he's using the storm as cover. Nedry is what actually cuts the power.
Yeah.
Because he had that whole command and thing to shut it down or whatever. Okay, cool. Also, big shout out to the fact that Nedry parallels with everyone else where he's like, aha, I will make a plan. And then one small thing goes wrong and it results
It's like, oh no, my plan.
Oh, no,
It's the Gru meme or whatever. This one. Gru's plan.
Okay.
That's my boy. Father, help. No, my boy.
The power cuts out while they're waiting in the cars basically for a while. I believe that's when they notice like, hey, the ship that's leaving the island has some velociraptors on it. So it adds some more tension of like, they don't just have to get back to the lodge to not die. They have to get back to the lodge within a time limit because otherwise the ship will deliver velociraptors accidentally to the mainland. And then the T-Rex attack happens. I love the T-Rex attack because of how non-lethal the T-Rex really is. And how just like animalistic and kind of like dumb and curious it is, really.
That is very true. I remember one part where it broke in the windows and it was like reaching its tongue into the window.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a
No,
dog
this is
trying
the
to
big
get to a
T-Rex.
peanut butter and a treat.
Yes. They're chilling in the car for so long. And then the T-Rex attacks by like stepping through. And most importantly, fascinatingly enough, and a thing that I think is funny, they're not really sure the T-Rex is there for like the first like solid minute, which I kind of like, as opposed to, and you two will have to remind me how the T-Rex shows up in the movie, because I have dim memories of like the
It doesn't
glass.
show up in the movie until the power cuts out.
Yeah.
It shows up in the movie. The power is out. The remote, the automatic Jeeps are stuck. They are not moving anymore on the track.
Yes.
They're pretty much outside the spot where the T-Rex is supposed to be and where the goat is supposed to be for like luring it out.
Yes.
And then the storm happens. Tim has like the night vision goggles. He's looking all around and they notice the goat is suddenly gone. And then the T-Rex shows up.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So during this whole attack,
the goat's like freaking out.
yeah, during this whole attack, they don't have communication with the main office.
Yeah, the phones are out.
Yeah, the phones are out, and Nedry was like jamming them before too. And the whole series of events is basically just the T-Rex fucking with people.
Yes.
But in a very like dumb animalistic way. It starts with the children's car, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And essentially the whole process of it is the T-Rex just like knowing that they're inside the car, and then everything it's like nudging the car. It's trying to get into the car. It gets more and more aggressive.
Yeah.
And then the adults panic and run away, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Gennaro leaves the kids before the car gets attacked, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So Gennaro sees the T-Rex, opens the door, starts running. Lex then starts yelling and screaming, "He left us! He left us!"
She does that in both of them.
Over again. Yeah. And then the T-Rex turns the attention onto the kids' car, where Grant and Malcolm are in the adults' car that are further back, and they're just kind of watching.
Yeah.
And T-Rex fucks up the kids' truck. Jeep is, I think the T-Rex throws the Jeep.
Yes,
if I
with
recall.
Tim in it,
With
and
Tim
Lex,
inside
it's
it.
not really clear. But
Lex, I
she
think, falls out of
into the
Jeep
mud.
and is onto the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
When the
remember
T-Rex-
that. Yeah, because I think Grant and Malcolm couldn't see it clearly, but they could hear Lex screaming, and they see what it looks like the T-Rex is on the ground, either nudging at something or eating something, and they're wondering if like it got to Lex.
Yeah.
Where Muldoon has just not Muldoon, the lawyer guy has just
Gennaro.
fucking booked it. Gennaro, he
Yes.
just
Yeah.
fucking booked it.
Yeah.
And then what happens next? Does Malcolm panic or does Grant do something first? I think Malcolm
I think
panics.
Malcolm panics. And then I think
think-
Malcolm
yeah,
panics
Malcolm-
and runs, and then
tracks.
whatever
Grabs
gets out of
him
the
and
car
flips him.
because he's behind him, but then the T-Rex notices and then like goes after him.
Yeah, and I think I remember Grant said that he saw Malcolm like flip in the air
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
get flung by the T-Rex.
Yeah, I think the
And-
T-Rex basically picked up Malcolm with its jaws and like threw him away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the T-Rex turned to the other Jeep, but Grant didn't move.
Yes, and the T-Rex
the
couldn't
T-Rex
see him.
could not see him because he wasn't moving.
Which bullshit. But go on.
yeah, bullshit. We know that's not real.
Bullshit. Oh, the T-Rex can't really smell me? That's weird. Dinosaurs can't see me if I don't move? That's weird. If that was
Yeah,
true,
but-
they'd be terrible fucking predators.
Yeah, they would be the worst predators ever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Remind me exactly how the scene ends, because I remember transitioning into Tim in the tree in the car because the car gets stuck in a tree.
I want to say Grant gets thrown somewhere. And then, like, the scene just moves to
Yeah,
him.
he gets knocked out.
Yeah.
It sounds about right. I don't remember why Grant gets thrown, to be honest. I apologize.
I think, like, he
'Cause I
hit,
was,
hit
like,
the
hunting this
entire
up.
thing with his tail, basically.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then Grant gets knocked out. Okay.
Yeah.
This,
T-Rex had COVID.
for the record, because I've been hyping this up. There's like three things
I
I'll
found it,
say
sorry.
about why I.
Two
of
men
course.
get out of the other car. It looks like the car suddenly just disappears. Ian Malcolm panics, gets out of the car, runs away. Grant gets out, stays still. Dinosaur attacks the car, ignores Grant. He realizes he cannot be seen. The T-Rex bellows, trying to get him to move so that he can see him, then kicks the car in frustration. The car strikes Grant, sending him through the air. He passes out.
Cool. Okay. Here's what I love about this scene. First off, I think it is the best written action, quote unquote, scene in the movie. Because a lot of other scenes in the movie, in the book, kind of struggle to me of like, are the dinosaurs standing there or are they attacking?
Yeah.
Whereas the T-Rex's movements in this make a lot of sense throughout the entire scene to me. I can follow it very well as to, like,
I have to agree with Anna about a dog with a Kong.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just sticking his tongue in the door, trying to.
Which, okay, so I would agree that the T-Rex is an asshole more than the raptors, right? Because if you've ever been to a zoo and you see an animal pacing, that animal's stressed as fuck, by the way.
Yeah.
So even in like well-kept environments, animals will freak out and get bored and shit. And so maybe because they were treating him just like a scavenger, not giving him things to hunt, etc., he wasn't fulfilled, and so he was using it like a chew toy. And that's the only thing I could think of.
The Jeeps were enrichment toys for
Yeah,
the T-Rex.
basically.
He's like,
Neat.
ooh, what's this? Nom 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 nom.
It's an interesting thing. I want to play with it.
yeah.
understandable for an animal.
Yes.
Which is, they are giant animals.
Yes.
My animal.
I agree.
Okay, we'll continue speaking about your favorite scene. Go on.
I think it's the best win from the action perspective for the Rex.
Mm-hmm.
I like the lack of communication between the humans, because I like that all of them, you can sort of process where they're at by how they react, and it sort of sets up like a new dynamic of these characters, because the rest of the book after this point is just everything going on, basically. You've had your character building moments where you're like, all right, here's all these characters, here's what they're doing, here's what their opinion is on everything. Now with Grant, with Gennaro, and with the kids, and less so with Malcolm, because he just like sucks as a person. Like it's fascinating to see in a situation where a lot of other scenes in the book have like the characters reacting to stuff, but they're alone.
Yeah.
So it's just them and the dinosaurs, or essentially it's just them and the dinosaurs. I love this because it's a group moment of panic where everyone is panicking and everyone's panic plays off of each other.
Yes.
To result in interesting situations. I like that it's not just the dinosaur that causes the scene to move forward.
Yeah,
and it's not the characters making plans that
they're
make the scene
fucking
go
up
forward.
that makes other things happen.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's a fun way to like keep up the pace of the scene without anything feeling like like, oh, the raptors just aren't biting them right now, but oh, it's a side character, so the raptors can kill them now, whatever.
Yeah.
The third thing that I really like about this scene, and I'll be honest, I didn't like it at first, and I might ping pong on this. I like the fact that no one actually dies in this scene.
You know?
Which is fast, because there's like 3 fake out deaths.
Yeah. I mean, there's a point where Muldoon talks about how their muscles are in their neck and not in their jaw. And so he was really just playing with them. Because if he wanted to hurt them, he absolutely would have. He would have ripped them the fuck apart.
Yeah, that's basically the excuse for the worst injuries that come to Malcolm, for people who haven't read the book, is not getting like picked up in the jaws of the T-Rex. It's getting thrown and breaking his ankle.
The impact is what hurt him the fuck.
He fucking dies from sepsis, not from dinosaurs.
Yep.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, the enrichment thing is definitely a thing, because if you think about it, the raptors were kept together and separate from everything, because they would have just killed the other dinosaurs.
Yes.
Same probably was for the T-Rex. The T-Rex especially, they're not pack animals.
No.
It probably was all by itself. The only thing
it talked about the little T-Rex, but like the little T-Rex never ran into the big T-Rex. They kept to their own areas, basically.
Yeah.
They openly say this.
Yeah, so the only kind of enrichment that T-Rex probably had, and who knows how much of room it actually had to move, was a goat.
Yeah.
And that was it. And the goat wasn't even able to run and, give it mental stimulation to like chase after its prey.
It was chained up.
It was literally just tied there.
Yep.
I feel bad for the goat. Goat didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Where's the goat? You feel bad for the goat? I'm a vegetarian.
I like the fact that also the biggest amplifying fact in the scene, there's 2 things. There's the one I want to credit the book for, and then the one I have to acknowledge the movie for.
Okay.
I'll acknowledge the movie first. It's not a negative point. It's just the knowledge that like I knew in the movie that the lawyer Gennaro dies at this point. So I was waiting for people to die. And when there's like a fake out scene, you think Malcolm's dead. You think Gennaro might be dead.
Yeah.
You might think I legitimately was like, holy shit, did they just kill Lex? Like that leads into what I want to credit the book for, which is like
not immediately killing off the kids.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, they could have killed Lex.
Yeah, they could have.
What I really, really like, or what's really, really interesting about the book is just how fucking gruesome the death scenes are, and more importantly, this might be me misremembering, but I remember being in a place of like, oh, this is a gruesome book, even by this scene. Wasn't Nedry's death scene before this?
Yes.
I
So,
wanna
well, it
say
depends on
Nedry-
before. What are you talking about? Like before the T-Rex attack?
Yes.
It was like
Yeah,
happening around
after.
the same time, technically.
It might have been cutting between them. The point is, really, what I really
So
really
it
like-
says that Nedry gets lost, a dinosaur kills him in the timeline after. So
yeah. What I don't remember the exact details, so I'd have to go back and check, and maybe this is my brain backfilling. But I love how this book is used as a turn. This moment in the book is used as like the hard turning point.
yeah,
Even though it is essentially horrifically gruesome by comparison to the rest of the book. Because I legitimately thought like, oh shit, they just killed off like half the cast.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, did they just kill Lex? Like,
yeah.
this really set the tone for the rest of the book in a very, very well executed way for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From like spending 50 books just describing 50 pages describing
Some
dinosaurs
legs.
in
Oh.
like
I find it funny that they kept Muldoon and
Gennaro.
Gennaro. I almost want to call him Geronimo.
Sure, fuck
Gennaro.
it. Why not?
They kept Gennaro and Muldoon alive in the book, but those were the two characters that they definitely killed off in the movie. And they
Yes.
killed off Gennaro almost immediately.
Yep.
And I'm almost curious as to why they did that in that particular thing, but I guess it was just the one to get the funny haha clever girl quote out of the way.
There's that. I don't think Muldoon's death was very weighted in the movie, to be fair.
No, it wasn't. It was more of a comedy thing. It did not feel like it was as impactful.
Yeah.
It was a tension raising moment because he was the only guy who
was saving
What-
Ellie, yeah.
Yeah, I want to. You'll have to correct me here where I started with the movie. In the book, Muldoon's just kind of like respectful of animals, but he's
Yes.
ready to get shit. He will put an animal down.
Yes,
he's,
he will
he's
shoot you.
respectful for nature because he understands how gruesome it is
And how unforgiving it
And-
can be, yeah.
and unforgiving it is. So he knows if an animal has to get put down, it will get put down.
Yes. He worked in Nairobi. He dealt with like lions and shit attacking, like leopards and shit attacking kids
Yeah.
and people. Like he's very respectful of it. And he wanted guns on the island and Hammond was like, fuck no. And they have a
No, it's
huge
too much
argument
money.
about it now.
Yeah.
Because he's like, this is the reason I wanted guns. And Hammond's like, they're too expensive. How dare you hurt my pretty dinosaurs? It's like, okay, guys, calm down.
Yeah. Just be like, oh my god, piss and fight.
Yeah. Whereas in the movie, isn't it kind of implied that he really wants to hunt dinosaurs? Like he has a boner for hunting dinosaurs?
No, that
No,
was a
that's the
character in the
second
second
one.
movie.
Yep.
That was a character in the second movie that he wanted to trophy fight
A
a
T-Rex.
Tyrannosaurus.
Because he was a big game
said-
hunter, basically.
Yeah, big game hunter. He said it was like, why do people go climb Mount Everest just to say they could? He
Okay.
did the same thing as that for T-Rex, but no, Muldoon from like get go. Yeah, sorry, my cat is meowing.
You're
because it's
fine.
almost her
I'm
dinner time.
excited for meowing.
But Muldoon from like the get.
Oh, Anna left.
Bye, Anna.
What?
The cat chewed through
Yeah.
the cable.
Clearly.
What?
You went
Oh,
away
welcome
for a
back.
second. Anyway,
Ah.
Muldoon, what?
Muldoon from the get-go was very respectful and knowledgeable about how animals, like how dangerous animals normally act, and he knows that dinosaurs are like lions on steroids,
Yes.
and even worse. So he was knowledgeable and knew what he was getting into. That's why I like him so much, because he's not an idiot. He understands how bad and how strong and unforgiving nature can actually be.
Yes. 100%.
He's neat.
I
He's
like him a
very
lot
neat.
more in the book.
Yeah, I like him a lot more in the book too.
Um,
In the movie, he was kind of like,
Yeah.
funny,
Australian man.
funny Crocodile Dundee kind of.
Yeah, he was very Crocodile Dundee. I may have been
Yeah.
like a Spielberg choice. I don't know.
That was more than likely a Spielberg thing. Spielberg, movies got to make it entertaining for the masses and the kids and big blockbuster. Which I will give it. That movie is amazing and it still holds up because of the pure
Yes.
puppetry
Yes.
of the dinosaurs and everything, and it's still a really good movie. But you know how it always is when it comes to movie to book to movie adaptations.
This is a
There will
decent
always
one in
be
my
something
opinion,
that-
to be fair.
Out of all the movies that I have seen that were based off of books, this is definitely probably one of the more decent ones because
Yeah.
I feel like there's a difference between like how Twilight did its movie versus how this did its movie.
Yeah.
Twilight tried to do the book a little bit too hard.
Yes.
The movie understood that this is a big blockbuster Hollywood movie. We can't just have people spilling their guts out on screen. So they understood that to make this a successful movie for multiple people and people of all ages, you had to kind of work it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of impressive how sort of the spirit feels the same / very similar, even though the tone is completely different.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like-
I'd agree with that because I think the only thing that I'm a little peeved at is how they handled Hammond's character in the movie versus the book.
Yeah, I get that.
That message.
I feel like
was lost.
they wanted Hammond to be likable in the movie, basically, and be like, oh, it was just someone's, dream, and he had the best of intentions and whatever, and that's the whole theme of the movie. Whereas the book is like, no, he did not have the best of intentions. It was money.
Wish money.
Yeah.
Not good intention, just money. I want
Yeah.
the money. I want to be the next Walt
So-
Disney, not for the joy of children, just the billionaire.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring up, because we've basically covered all the things that I was going to talk about in our timeline thing, since you're going to be going here soon.
Yeah.
The only thing we haven't really brought up was it technically ethical for InGen to try to clone dinosaurs? And then the moral implications of cloning dinosaurs, because we're in an era now where that is
Cloning
still...
actually does happen.
Yes, cloning does happen. We found, what was it, that mammoth in Antarctica that we were like, should we clone this? Basically. And then it also brings up the idea of, yeah, if he had done condors, that'd be different. So then, okay, what about like Tasmanian devils? Do we bring them back? Like, that kind of... We're basically
Tasmanian devils
repeating this
extinct?
book. Not Tasmanian devils, Tasmanian tigers, sorry.
Okay, I was just like, I'm pretty sure they're not extinct.
Everything else y'all have covered amazingly. And I will keep going with Will as long as Will would like to go once you leave,
Yeah.
so I don't mind.
So my opinion on that, I'm very torn because the animal part of me that loves all animals, of course, does not want them to be extinct.
Yeah.
But some are extinct for I almost want to say a reason, I want to say. Mom's sweeting honey behind
Yeah,
me, so
you're
she's
fine.
meowing. Thank you. But if this was a case of something that is very impactful to the environment, like take for example bees, like honeybees.
Yes.
I would be fine with cloning honeybees because if we do not have them
We die.
in society, we will die. We will
Yes.
perish. And they are very much on the verge of being endangered. Their environment is constantly falling to pieces,
Yes.
pretty much. And now there are wasps out there that are developing and hunting and also destroying them at the
Yep.
same time. So if it was to the case of I need to clone this one thing to keep the rest of the ecosystem going,
Yeah.
then I would be okay with it. But the problem is when you have that technology out there and it's just out there, there is always going to be somebody out there with not good intentions.
Yes.
And the whole opinion on morality, the problem is it is such a spectrum that some people's morals may not line up exactly with your morals, and that's just kind of human nature.
Yes.
That's what makes humans complicated. We don't have a one set moral compass that everybody adheres to because it's not how it works.
Yes.
So
So I am in the mindset that I think bringing back animals that humans have made extinct because of progress is 100% ethical. 110%, because we basically fucked up and we should fix it.
That's fair.
But I'm also in the mindset that pandas should die.
Why pandas especially?
So, okay,
Why-
so
yeah, specifically.
so pandas actually have a really hard time breeding. It is
Yes,
extremely
because they're very lazy.
Yes, it is extremely expensive to keep up with pandas, and they are basically at the end of their evolutionary line. Like, they're done, right? We keep them around because they make us money for zoos, and basically pandas are one of the apexes of their area, so there's nothing that they need to feed, right, to exist. They eat bamboo, they don't eat meat.
Yeah, they don't
And
really have a
they're
big
at the
impact
end-
on the ecosystem,
Yes,
do
they basically, I mean, they keep bamboo in line, I guess. But yeah, there's a very specific way pandas replicate, and it's hard for them to even breed in the wild. We keep them around. This is as far as I know. If I'm getting information incorrect, correct me, please. But we keep them around because they are cute and they make us money for other research. So
they? That is fair.
And
That is
so-
honestly fair. And it's kind of really fucked up when you think about it that way, because what is the mascot logo
of the WWF.
Yeah, it's a panda.
Yeah, no,
That is a really unfortunate way to think about it.
Hey, Laura.
because brain.
Look at this panda behind bars.
Humans should stop meddling with
Indeed.
pandas and let them die. What the fuck?
Yes, cute privilege is 100% a thing.
I mean, that's what Dia just said,
yeah.
basically.
That is. I guess that goes along with the whole moral thing, where now we're in the mindset of we don't want to let any baby animals die, but
Yeah.
we only really pay attention to the ones that are actually super cute. Damn.
I mean, I think it also involves like restoring their habitats and stuff for the extinct animals that we have killed off if we clone them, but that's a whole other thing.
Can we clone plants?
What?
I would love if there was like cloning things. If we could clone plants
Yes, you can.
and like clone, restore the environments through that way, that would be an ethical sort.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, also, pandas have a digestive system of a carnivore, but they eat like a herbivore. They are literally evolutionarily fucked.
Weird.
Aren't navel oranges clones? Are
Yes.
they?
Yes.
What?
I believe so, yeah. Here. Yeah, navel orange trees are worldwide are clones of a single tree from Bahia, Brazil. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So also apple trees, there is no single apple tree, by the way. Yeah, they
What?
don't have seeds, they're clones. There is no apple tree that grows a single type of apple.
Okay, I know about the bananas.
Yes.
I know
Apples
about bananas.
Apples tend to be fused onto apple trees so that they can grow in a certain way. Apple trees grow all kinds of apples.
I am never gonna look at the produce section of a Walmart the same ever again. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, usually it's basically like, it's not like extreme. You're not gonna find an apple from like China, basically. Yeah, it makes the fruit of wild apples very random because it tries to avoid incest, literally. That's it.
Damn.
I mean, fair.
So when you have a farm
then.
of just Fuji apples, they literally have to go out and graft apples to trees.
Wow.
The whole thing. So cloning
I know
already
that's
is
all-
a thing in our society. You just don't think about it.
That's true. Same with like tilapia farms.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find wild tilapia. They're only in farms.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Can you imagine apple incest? Wow. Corn is also
Wow.
all cloned. Yep. Well, okay,
What?
not all corn.
What the fuck is happening in our agriculture?
Plants are alive and they are fucked.
So I guess that answers our questions about ethical cloning. It already is a thing. We
Yes,
just don't think about it that way.
Yep.
Because it's plants.
Yep. Yeah, no, they, I mean, there's like wild corn and like more and different kinds of corn, but sweet corn is 100%, yeah.
All right. I
mean-
would be fine with cloning bees.
I mean, there's selective breeding for stuff like corn, and then there's like cloning.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I was wondering on your opinion of ethical cloning, Will. And then we can get back to his story while Anna runs off to work.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's
can.
fine if I'm a few minutes late. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know.
Take your time.
Can I? I have a story that I love.
Go on.
Go for it.
When I was in college, my senior year, I was taking some like English class or whatever, just to like fill in the slot because you need to take English classes. We read a book and we got to this point in the book where the main villain wanted to essentially make a machine / control method to control the internet and what people were able to do / think. And I will always remember in reading discussion time when a freshman around the age of like 19 or 20, like fresh in computer science, was like, you know, this dude is evil. But I think the machine was more specifically about like censoring bad information or like bringing forward like real information. I don't remember the details that well. It wasn't literally mind control.
Yeah.
But the freshman was like, you know, this dude is evil, but this technology inherently, like, think of like you could do good things with this. Like the technology isn't necessarily evil. The application of it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I became the Joker. That's when I was like, this is the reason why they force us to take ethics classes for computer science majors.
Yeah.
Science is definitely not a tool. This specific thing was 100% evil.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had to take a ethics class if you were a computer science major.
Usually at like, I went to a weird school, but at like big state universities and stuff, ethics and computer science is usually required.
Damn.
Oh, we did try to clone Tasmanian tigers in 1999. Okay.
Oh.
So that's more so like informational stuff. But it always makes me more hesitant to have opinions about this because while I have a lot of experience thinking about ethics of information control and everything that comes with that, especially with, I was going to say certain social media websites, Twitter, especially with Twitter.
Yeah.
Like thought control and everything is something I have a lot more experience with than biological control. The idea of straight up cloning something that didn't used to exist.
Yeah.
There's a second unconnected thing which also makes me really hard to have a very strong opinion about this or a very concrete opinion about this. To skip over all the preamble and rabble-rousing, basically this idea in archaeology of like, what is the problem? Is it better to go into another country and disturb and take an archaeological site essentially and take all their relics?
Yeah.
Is it better for the British Museum to have these things?
That's a whole other conversation, but yeah, go on.
Or is there really a problem inherently with just like letting them rest and go away naturally and just sort of like disappear into the past? Like why are we causing ethical concerns now?
Well, because like you don't want like your history to go away, basically, right?
Everybody is humankind naturally is a curious being, and they are always on the pursuit of knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
no, I get it.
History repeating itself and everything. We're fascinated by the past. We're fascinated on the things that are not in front of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem comes up when that pursuit of knowledge leads to the destruction and distress in the present because, oh, well, we can't let this thing disappear forever. So we're going to screw you over and make you sad now so that your history will be preserved for future generations.
Yeah.
Why aren't you happy?
I mean, that's a classism, racism conversation too. Back to veer it back to cloning real quick. Did you know you can clone your dog?
Oh, God.
Legitimately?
I know about the stuffed animal.
No, you can legitimately clone your dog or cat.
No, I don't know how I.
It is like $30,000 to do. I know people who have cloned their dog like 4 or 5 times.
What?
Okay.
See,
Yeah.
I don't. That's where I fall off because if I made an exact copy of Honey, it would still not be Honey.
No, it wouldn't.
That would not be my cat. That would be a different cat that just looks exactly like her.
However, I will say the Przewalski's horse is an endangered animal. They have cloned that, for example. That is something that already exists, but they are doing that. So it's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Were there any other wrap-up things that we wanted to ask real quick before I
No,
speak?
that is the main thing I wanted to bring up. And then if Will wants to keep talking about the timeline or anything, we can. I don't mind.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to derail. I just
You're
have
okay.
like very complicated feelings about science and everything, and
It's
I can only
fine.
talk about the things that I have like.
It is fine.
It's
It's
okay.
more organic if we derail.
Yes.
But I must scoot.
Have a
Thank
good
you so much
scoot.
for having me.
Goodbye,
this
Anna.
was an amazing read, and you let me know when we do the next one.
If we do a next one, yeah. I'll see you tomorrow.
If we didn't.
We're getting
Yes, I will see you tomorrow.
I'm getting divorced
Getting
tomorrow.
divorced.
Hopefully.
We're getting divorced.
Hopefully, we'll see.
What?
We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. We'll see.
I'm coming for that alimony.
Thank you.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm keeping the kids. Bye.
Fine, bye.
We're playing Better Together or whatever it is.
That explains the.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Dad, no, wait.
The divorce, yeah. It'll be at like 2 p.m. Central. Did you want to keep going with the timeline? Because you seem very excited about this book and it makes me very happy.
I was very excited. I will admit, we get to the
It takes
point
two,
of the
yeah.
book now where again I fall off. I think
Yeah.
that the probably peak. I think if I had to put a pin in the point in the book where I fall off,
Yes.
it's probably
Post attack of
I
the
already-
T-Rex.
post waking up in the. It's when they start going down the river.
I get that.
To do these super simple like 10-second version of the timeline, and then we could go more in depth. Like T-Rex attacks. They scatter into the woods basically. Sadler, who wasn't there for reasons that don't really matter, picks up Malcolm and goes back to the Malcolm and Gennaro, I think. Malcolm and goes back to the thing. Gennaro just finds his way back. And then for the rest of the book, essentially the
Yeah.
oh my god, I can't remember the name of the main character. Wait. I'm just gonna open the book to a random page and hope he's there.
Grant?
Grant, thank you so much. The rest of the book is basically just like Grant and the kids going down the river to the lodge while the people in the lodge figure out how fucked they are.
Yes.
Everyone reunites, the raptors attack.
Yeah.
Then they leave the island.
Yes, that's
Actually, no.
basically.
Can we talk about the last thing they do in the book? Because
Sure.
it is the last thing they do in the book is Grant, Sadler, and Gennaro go off to find the raptor nest.
Yes.
Nominally to count how many raptors are on the island and sort of like figure that out.
Yeah.
And I would be lying if I said that this whole section of the book at the end.
I think it's the
wasn't
weakest
very-
section.
It's the weakest section of like the whole book,
Yes.
which is a shame because it's like the ending, basically.
They actually talk about
Did we establish the raptors are breeding? I assume
yes.
everyone knows the raptors are breeding.
Everyone knows the raptors are breeding. Everything is breeding.
Yeah.
Basically, there is a part where the raptors. There's a part where they also talk about the raptors having like camouflage and stuff, and it's like chameleon-esque camouflage, which is what the Indominus Rex had, which is brought up actually in the second book where the dinosaurs basically can go invisible. It's like a lot.
It's fucking fascinating.
It's a
Fucking
whole
great.
thing.
Yeah, no, sure, why not?
Yeah, just why not?
Yeah. I have a lot less to talk about in the second half of the book, though, because
That's okay.
The T-Rex attacks, and then I think there's not really, I don't really enjoy any of the action scenes from here on out. Like, for example, one of the standout scenes that people like to talk about in the movie is the kids getting attacked in the kitchen.
Yes. It's very good
Which
in the
in the
kitchen
book-
one.
Yeah, in the book, it's like, fine, it's good, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't know, is there anything in like the second half of the book that you really want to call out as like very good?
I mean, I really like Wu coming to terms with everything, where he's having this whole conversation with Hammond, and Hammond is still very, oh, everything's fine, you know, the lights are out, who cares, let's have some ice cream. And it's this, oh God, what have I made? Because he just got told by Grant, if there's amphibian DNA, you fucked up. But Hammond doesn't allow him to go look at it and find out just yet. He basically, like, it takes him to go have ice cream, and he's like, yeah, we'll just get this fixed, and we're done. And it's whatever. And it's interesting how long they keep trying to repair the park, in my opinion. Like, there is no, the T-Rex is out, everything is gone, the park is gone. No, the T-Rex is out. They get the T-Rex back. They get a lot of the dinosaurs back in their pens. They fix some of the gates, and like everything's going back. And it's interesting to me that comparatively to the movie, probably because of time, that they're still in the mindset of, okay, let's rebuild the park so we can open it still. This was just an accident. And I think that's interesting, to be fair.
It is kind of funny pretending the raptor nest doesn't exist, basically. The reason
Pretty much
the park falls into shit again is because they fuck up. When they reset,
Yes.
they turn everything off and back on again, and when they do that, they don't turn the main power back on again, just the auxiliary power.
Yep.
And they run out of fuel, and like shit gets fucked.
Yep.
And then the park goes down
Because
a
they
second
once
time.
again aren't paying attention to the things that they needed to pay attention to.
Yes, they fucked up.
Yes.
Which is yeah, there's a lot of time, to be fair, and that's why at the start of the stream I said like the last third of the book is my least favorite, because the middle third of the book has the T-Rex attack, and it also has a very interesting section where, yeah, as far as they know,
Everything's fine.
they're fine.
Yes.
Like yeah, someone died.
Oh no,
Boo-hoo.
people die all the
That's happened.
time.
That's happened before. The kids are missing, but they're with Grant. They're
Yeah.
probably fine.
Well, Ellie is freaking out.
As well she should be. Hammond doesn't give a fuck, which
Yeah,
is
no,
very
he
funny.
doesn't.
I mean, he gives a fuck, but in like the type of way where it's like he doesn't really care.
If they die, oh well, but like, you know, I tried.
Kinda, yeah.
I think it's interesting that like Hammond does die to the T-Rex eventually while he can't get back. The reason he breaks his ankle though is because of the kids playing the T-Rex noise. Like I forget if it's to scare the raptors or something, but they're playing
They
it
just
and he
fun.
gets scared and breaks his ankle. That's it. And it's just like, okay, good comeuppance, I suppose.
I do kind of enjoy that Hammond. Every other character in this book is exposed to the dinosaurs in a dangerous situation directly, besides Hammond, up until the
Yes.
very end. The second he thinks he might be in danger to a dinosaur directly, because he's in the lodge when the raptors are trying to get in.
Yeah, but he's
Again,
fine at the time. He like puts himself in a room and he's fine.
Yeah, again, it's kind of skipping over the plots. The whole like last third of the book is like some characters are in the lodge, the velociraptors are trying to get in, and like Grant and the kids are trying to turn the power back on so that
Yeah.
they'll be safe.
Yep.
But like the only time, again, also it makes sense because he's like 75 years old. What the fuck is he gonna do in a
Yeah.
velociraptor attack?
Yeah, there's
But, like,
nothing.
the only time he direct interfaces with a dinosaur in a dangerous situation, he immediately panics, gets himself hurt, and then dies to the actual dinosaur. Like
well, he dies to compies later, is what it is.
Yeah. He gets scared. He falls down a cliff. He hurts his ankles, and then the scavengers come and finish him off.
Yes.
Also, I wonder if there's any poetic justice here.
I would say so.
Well, specifically with the compies in their bites inject you with a poison that makes you feel like
mild,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, it basically dulls your nerves and like your senses.
Yeah.
So they can eat you and you won't like feel it as bad. You won't struggle.
Yes. They're scavengers,
That's what
yeah.
I like the thematic parallel of Hammond not feeling anything, not caring, just get my way, just get my shit, and then dying in part to a poison that literally takes away his sense of feeling, so he is easy pickings for the dinosaurs.
Yes.
I think that is on purpose, and I like it.
I like that it's the compies because they're scavengers, and so they already eat the worthless shit of the jungle, basically. And I'm just like,
they were brought into the island to eat shit, so they eat Hammond. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah. They're scavengers mostly, not hunters, and him being eaten by basically the most pathetic thing. It'd be like he gets killed by a vulture. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no one else in the book is threatened by the compies except for like the children at the very start, like the babies, which maybe throws it off a little bit.
And that's a baby. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. They can't do anything. It's a baby.
It's a baby. What are you gonna do? They're just a little guy. They get their face eaten off. They're a baby.
Yeah, it's a baby. They're a dead baby, but they're a baby. So.
God bless cleanup. Yeah, no, get that shit out of here.
Yeah. They're the viscera cleanup of the natural world, basically. So, I don't know. I really do think that they didn't need the raptor scene at all. Like, I will say it does help with the problem that you were having earlier, where it's like the raptors are just like insane. And I'm like, yeah, but the raptors that are not in the pen are not insane.
You're talking about the nest.
Yes.
I will admit, Grant also just goes like full asshole in this scene. He like goes to Gennaro and is like, he fucking like he gets like angry and like yells and slaps Gennaro. He's like, you caused this shit, you invested, this was, you owned like X% of this company, which is true. Like, this is your fault, therefore we should go into a raptor nest for like no reason because the island gets firebombed anyway. It doesn't really make a lot of sense for the characters. I don't really know why they like. I understand conceptually why they would. It's so close to making sense, but it just doesn't.
They don't need it. It is kind of the only thing in the book that I'm just like, I don't need this. Like, it's okay, but I don't need it. You didn't have to go out there. You didn't have to go to the Raptors. You could have. Because the military comes anyway and firebombs the goddamn thing. So like, who gives a shit?
Which, to be fair, they didn't know, but also, like...
That shouldn't be your main interest right this second.
You just almost died. Hell, like, Malcolm at this point bled out and died, like, 5 minutes ago, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe he bleeds out and dies while they're in the raptor nest or whatever. But, like, there's no... Like, you could find the nest like tomorrow or something.
Yeah, you could find it at any time. I think what it was to finally give Grant something, because they very quickly establish in the beginning that Grant mostly likes dealing with paternal instincts of dinosaurs, and he likes the idea that dinosaurs were good parents, basically, and that's like his main thing. Because he's also a college professor, right? I'm just gonna snooze this ad like 1 or 2 more times. And so for him to go into the nest and be like, oh, this is how dinosaurs be parents, I guess is kind of the only thing I can pull from that.
Yeah, I almost wonder what would have happened if it was like more towards the middle of the book.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny. There's a weird thing in this book with like again, the opening of this book is establishing that dinosaurs are off the island. Which is neat because it's sort of like a dramatic irony for the rest of the book of we already know that the worst possible scenario has happened.
Yes, compies have gotten off the island. They just don't think about it.
Yeah, we know that the main characters are correct in that this island was an awful idea. We know that we're beyond the point of no return already, even when the park is still up, which is neat. I sorry, I forget what my point was. What was I leading into? Oh yeah, like there's this whole section in the middle of the book, again, where like everything is like recovered and fine, asterisk.
Yeah. TM. Everything's fine. This is fine.
No, I thought I remembered my point, but I did lose it. I just don't like it.
It's okay.
I can give sort of my closing thoughts unless there's any other points you want to go over.
So there's only one other thing I want to bring up, and Malcolm talks about fractals, right? At one point. And if you don't know what a fractal is, it basically is like a thing that's repeating and repeating forever.
And notably, every like there's like 5 like chapter breaks that called iterations.
Yes.
So like it's definitely like a theme that the book is trying to hammer home because on every iteration it shows you a fractal curve progressing and getting more complex.
Yeah, so this is a fractal, basically. And Malcolm starts talking about it later. It looks like this, by the way, first iteration, and it's a whole thing. It's kind of cool, actually. For the dress, I would love this actually as a poster. That's fucking sick. What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Wow. Anyway, so I think I like the idea of fractals in this story because everything is, we are handling it, but we aren't looking at the things we're not thinking about. So I like how it's throughout the entire story. So the beginning, the kid gets bit. We're handling it. We checked for all these diseases. No diseases. Deal with it later. We handled it, but we're not seeing the other things, that it's not, just a lizard. Okay. And then we bring in like Alan Grant. We are handling the site dig, but wait, actually the EPA is here because I worked with John Hammond for whatever thing. And it's kind of weird that they asked me all these questions about dinosaurs that I only kind of know. Handling it, but things are slipping through the cracks that I'm not realizing. And then, of course, the park is fucking full of them. There's a part where they're repairing the fences, for example, like after the attacks, where Muldoon pulls a tree off of the fence that was there to basically make the fence look natural and hide it, but it didn't have the porcelain covers on their, like, on the things.
It fell over and damaged the fence.
It shorted the fence. The covers for the wires that were holding up the tree weren't metal, or were metal, not porcelain like they were supposed to be. And it was all these little things that just kept happening that they were not taking into account. And I think the idea of like all of that, the rooftop, for fuck's sake, like dinosaurs are never gonna get on the rooftop. Oops, we put a fucking tree too close to the thing. Oops, our bad. Sort of shit.
I see the main thing here. It's part of the reason, I'm not sure how well I said this earlier, but yeah, like part of the reason why I love the prologue, the first couple chapters before we even meet Grant and Sadler so much, is because it's just a bunch of little things that are like leading up to and then leading away and then leading back up to the events of Jurassic Park, like spiraling out of control.
Yes.
Really. Which is kind of funny because there's all these moments of like, oh, it's leading up to stuff. And then I keep having to remind myself, like the opening, besides like the foreword, which is like just talking about bioscience in general, the opening scene in the book is, it's already fucked.
Yeah, it literally is. Everything is already fucked and there's nothing we can do about it. Sorry, guys. Which
might be, I'm trying to decide whether that's funny or whether that's clever. because the idea of like from the start you could see this was going to be a bad idea. From the
Yeah.
start of the book, we already knew as an audience that everything was fucked.
Even without seeing the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing because this is what I'm getting at, is like, it is that fractal. It is just happening again and again and again and again for all of this. Like, at the very beginning, Hammond and his baby elephant or whatever, like his like miniature elephant, it had terminal fucking cancer. And he was worried about it dying before he could get more money from investors with it. Like, that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very smart thing that everything became fractals and everything became, you know, chaos theory, basically. Like, I don't know.
Okay. Getting into the chaos theory in the book, I'm trying not to dismiss too much out of it. There's the theme I like here, and then there's the problem I have with chaos theory as it's used in this book.
Yeah.
The theme I like is tiny details spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
Which is, yes, we spent the last like 10 minutes talking about that specifically. That I think is cool. That I enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, you can't account for everything. Some little thing will happen and then it will spiral out of control. My problem is how Malcolm is used to apply that.
Yeah, I hate that it's Malcolm that is like the one that's like, hey, like, y'all don't seem to understand. Come on.
I think I figured it out in my brain. It just clicked in my brain. The problem I have with Malcolm and the way he's used in this book is that his whole thing is chaos theory. You won't know which way it will go.
Yes.
But then his entire character is, I know exactly how this is going to go. Because there's
Yeah,
only one way it can
100%.
go.
He's like, it's just gonna go to shit. And it's like, there's chances that it couldn't. They could have caught the auxiliary power thing. Like, you don't fucking know, man. Water drops down your hand. It could have gone anyway.
It's not so much even that it could have succeeded or it could have failed. It's that, I guess, to give him some credit, he doesn't know what. I'll narrow down on one specific thing. He's like very early on, like, oh no, dinosaurs are off the island. They're like, what? How do you know that? And he's like, well, it's the only thing that could happen. And to be fair to him, he doesn't know what dinosaurs are off the island. He doesn't know how dinosaurs.
He just assumes that any dinosaurs off the island. He
just knows that through the endless, essentially chaos theory of chance.
Yeah.
Way too many of them, way too many possibilities lead towards something going wrong and dinosaurs getting off the island. So I guess I have to give him credit there. I just don't like the sort of passiveness he takes towards the plot. That's the problem.
Yeah, I
don't
get
like how
that.
passive he is.
He's also on morphine for half of it, but yeah, go on.
He's on morphine for half of it, but essentially he doesn't really do anything even when he's on morphine besides just talk about how the outcome is already decided. He's an extremely passive character while also smugly holding his passivity over people who are just trying to like make it out alive.
Yeah.
One could even argue like he says at one point he's on morphine, he's on the bed, he's like bleeding out.
Yeah.
One of the characters tries to like comfort him of like, oh, we'll deal with this, we'll do this, we'll do that, like we'll get you out alive or whatever. And he just looks back and I think the moment is like, why are you so calm about the velociraptors chewing on the building trying to get inside?
They're literally above you chewing on the bars of the skylight. What, are you good, bro? Like,
and his response is very telling of his character in a way that I think is neat, but I don't really enjoy, of him being like, do you know how small the odds are that any of us make it off the island?
Yeah. He's already accepted death, basically.
He's just accepting come what may, which is my least favorite possible interpretation of chaos theory.
Yeah.
Is just like what happens. Yeah.
We're about to jump into an ad, so if you want to just hold your thought for 2 seconds and talk about whatever else you want.
Okay, so in Warhammer 40k.
And Warhammer 40k.
No, I'm not giving you the opportunity to yes and me either. This is a bit.
Yeah.
Overall, I will go over my like final thoughts after the ad.
Yeah.
And taking the ad as some time to think.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is there anything else that I missed?
I don't really think so, because we both agree that the latter half of this book is a lot.
It's weaker. I think
Yes.
the latter half. Here's the problem. The first half of this book, I think, is genuinely fantastic. The second half is fine.
Yeah.
And when you're going from fantastic to fine, like that makes it feel worse. But
Yeah.
genuinely, I think it's like fine.
Yes.
It's decent. I would rate the whole book as like good. I think that I would recommend this to people. It's a fun read. It's made me think a lot.
Yeah.
I think that what can I say that isn't like big wrap up thoughts, so I can say that after the ad break.
Big poo poo pee pee.
Big poo poo pee pee. We didn't really cover. I feel so bad because I feel like the character we talked about the least was Sadler, but then my brain was like, what the fuck is there to talk about?
Yeah,
with
there's
Sadler?
not much to talk about with her. Like, she did the paleobiologist thing, but like that was about it. It was just like, okay, moving on. She's not.
Yeah.
She is more interesting as a movie character than she is as a book character.
What does
Because
Sadler do in the movie?
she turns the power back on, which shocks Tim, if you remember. That's why he has a bloody ear.
Oh, I don't remember the movie very well.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
so Sattler is sent after Arnold because Arnold went down to turn the power back on but doesn't show up. So she and Muldoon go to turn the power back on. Muldoon at that point gets killed by raptors. Ellie goes down into the whatever it is and turns on all the power and unknowingly basically shocks Tim because he's climbing an electric fence at that point. And so she is doing things, but like only kind of.
Yeah.
So
And then there's the book where
it's worse.
You know what? Big fucking credit. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe looking at the legs was okay. It was foreshadowing, dear. The
Yeah.
only thing that Ellie Sadler does in the plot is run for 5 seconds at one point.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what she does.
I
No,
know
no.
that. I feel like it helps that Sattler is like 20 years younger than Grant in the book.
Honestly, it makes it worse in my opinion.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's my grad student. You want to leer at her sexually? Yeah, sure. That's
I don't.
fucking funny, man.
I don't know if it's like that's fucking funny. Go leer at my grad student. I think it's more like you're all. I think he sees it because I don't see him as a womanizer, right? Like I don't see Grant as that.
I don't see Grant as a direct womanizer.
I
Sure.
see it very much as like, yeah, you all think she's fucking hot because she's hot and you don't see anything past that. Fucking assholes, this always happens, sort of thing. That's what it feels like to me. Because, again, we go back to that STEM sort of like, if you don't have a PhD, you're not good enough. But Ellie, like, for Alan, has proved herself time and time again at the dig site, right?
Yeah, I mean, I will give credit to the fact that, like, okay, I don't think Grant is a sexist asshole. I think that he is more representative of what I'm taking away. Actually, I can bring up the 2 worst sexist things that happened in the book.
Go on.
Which don't get commented on and bug me a lot.
Go on.
And that is, they both come from Malcolm.
Yeah, go on.
At one point when Malcolm is put on the bed and he's talking to Sadler because Sadler in the second half of this book is designated to being the person that Malcolm has an excuse to monologue at.
Yes.
He's like, he says something along the effects of like, oh no, I'm fine. Although I could stare at your beautiful face all day and talk like you're very beautiful, blah, 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 right? And it comes off, even like Sadler is like visibly like bewildered in the moment, but it felt like it was supposed to more come off as smooth and it made me feel uncomfortable.
I don't think it was supposed to come off as smooth, but go on.
Yeah, another thing that really bugged me, which is not commented at all in the book, but made me realize like, oh, this is a 1980s book.
Yeah.
Is during one of Malcolm's monologues, he's talking about how science in the last 100 years hasn't really progressed that much in terms of like standard of living
Yes.
for the first world, which I will, cough, cough, cough.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like, he's only talking about it from the perspective of America, not the world as a whole,
Yep.
which, fuck him. But one of the things he brings up, the thing he brings up to talk about it is like, it takes the same amount of time for women to clean the house now as it did 100 years ago.
Yeah, that one was weird. It was weird. He is from UT Texas, like Austin area, and there could be some real shitty people in Texas still, even if you're in Austin.
Yeah.
So, like, I kind of get it, but I still hate it.
Yeah, but it's not like commented on or like thought. It's just skipped. It's just said as like part of his monologues.
Yep.
And I feel like we're supposed to think that his monologues are very smart.
Yes.
Which is why I have it way less of a way more of an eyebrow raised frame.
I think
towards
you're
the rest
supposed
of the
to
book.
think they're smart at first and then get tired of him like everybody else does. And I think that's intentional because that's kind of the whole thing, that no one was willing to listen to Malcolm when they literally hired him to tell them what was wrong, right?
I don't know. It feels. Maybe I'll have to read. Maybe I will read this book again at some point. But like I will need to like go through it again with a more critical eye than I'm able to right now.
That's fair.
Because I did not get that. It felt more so like preaching. Like
No,
the
it
author
100%
was, like-
feels preachy, like
No,
very
no.
much.
It felt preachy from the author, not
Yes,
from
no, that's what I
Malcolm.
mean.
Yes.
Like, it feels extremely preachy from Crichton, and it's kind of weird. And I think it was unintentional, like the feeling that I'm describing with Malcolm, of like, you were supposed to dislike him at the end because that's just what humans do. We want things to go right. We don't want things to go wrong. Chaos theory, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah.
And so at the end, when Malcolm is just like high as fucking monologuing, you're supposed to still be disliking him like everybody else does. That is kind of what it comes across as. I don't think it was intentional though. I think it's good, but I don't think it was intentional.
It doesn't feel super intentional. No,
Yeah.
God bless it. The one Hammond was clearly not thinking ahead. The greatest thing about Malcolm dying is that he shut the fuck up.
Shit. Oh my god. Thank you, Will. That is that kind of made this for me.
Happy to be here, dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Final thoughts?
My final 2 sentences on the book. I think this is a very good book. I can understand why it's your favorite book. I think that the first half is excellent. The last like third of it kind of lost me, but in a way that I wasn't really that mad about in the moment reading it. The philosophy of it is a little bit confusing to me, and I didn't give myself enough time to process it. But yeah, no, overall, very, very enjoyable. Thank you for having book club with me.
Yeah, of course. I actually think I might do another one if I feel like it in the future. Stephen King and Michael Crichton are my favorite authors, so I would definitely make y'all read more Stephen King and Michael Crichton. But yeah, I might. This was a fun one-off at the very least. I think my final thoughts on Jurassic Park is that it is a good read. I would recommend it to people, and I do recommend it to people. And I don't disagree that the final half is, because it's very, oh my god, dying, scared, running, dying, scared, running, dying. There's a little bit that's like fun, like I mentioned, like the baby raptor stuff. And it just being like, oh, like we really fucked up with like how psychotic the raptors actually are.
I think my biggest problem with the Raptors is basically just that a lot of the other action scenes in the movie are between a lot of different dinosaurs doing a lot of different things, but the Raptors for the last third of the book
are just like
the same
humans,
sort of thing over and over and over again.
Like
It's
humans,
a little bit too long.
Yeah, it could have been like a chapter, and then that's it. Like the Raptors could have been dealing with them while they were trying to go turn the power on and stuff, but like plotting and planning to deal with them instead of like just attacking to make them seem more intelligent, basically, for these people that they know cage them and hurt them.
Yeah.
I think that would have been more interesting.
Maybe. There's a bunch of things, but yeah, no. Cool.
Chad, thank you for listening to me yap for 3 fucking hours about my favorite book. Thank you, Will, for being here and yapping about my favorite book for 3 fucking hours, and Anna as well. And she's lovely. I love Anna. She's great.
I really enjoy the fact that I messaged you in like July, the start of July, like I read the prologue, and then like a week and a half ago, and was when I was like, I've read like 100 pages. I gotta go.
Yeah, I put on the audiobook like 3 days ago and was like, all right, time to read. Then got high last night and wasn't able to finish it, but I remember enough about it. So.
Oh my god, I should get high tonight. That sounds great. But yeah, no. Just... Thank you for having me, dear.
Yeah, of course. I'm always happy to have you. I'll be back